Hi everyone, good morning. For your kind attention, time is now 9:31. Our meeting scheduled start time is 9:30. But as per our bylaws requirement of quorum 10.2 bylaw reference, it states that if we don't have 1/3 of the quorum, which we don't have here, then the meeting has to be adjourned by 30 minutes to restart. So the meeting will resume and start sharp at 10 a.m. Thank you very much. Hello everyone, warm welcome. Now that we have adjourned the meeting by 30 minutes, we will start the proceedings. I request everyone who have registered to please come and take their seats. May I request everyone, whoever has registered, come and take their seats. Hi. People in the back, should I call the names? Ajay Mehrotra. Ajay Mehrotra. Ramesh, be seated. Vikram. Those who have done the registrations, please come and take your seats. We'll start the meeting. Treasurer Sundar. Sundar. Satish, please be seated on. Zamir. Please be on the... Okay, we are 3 minutes over. Let's get started. May I request silence? Once again, everyone, a warm welcome and a good morning. Welcome to the 11th Annual General Body Meeting of the Bangalore Apartment Federation. Those who are yet to register, please visit the registration desk. Those who have already done the registration, please come and be seated. We are getting started. So here is the agenda. So welcome and introduction. Adoption of minutes of the last AGM held on September 14th, 2024. Presentation of various focus activities of the Federation in the last 1 year and adoption of the annual report. And fourth agenda point is presentation and adoption of the audited accounts for the financial year 2024 and 2025. And fifth point, agenda point, is approval of the budget for financial year 2025 and 2026. Sixth agenda point is appointment of auditor for financial year 2025 and 2026. Seventh agenda point is elections to the Governing Council and Executive Council for the terms 2025 to 2027. And any other matters with the permission of the chair and word of thanks. So with that, let's begin. Meeting documentation was shared a lot in advance to all the members via email, WhatsApp, and we have a microsite for BAF AGM. You can visit baf.org.in/AGM-2025. You have all the information that is required for the AGM, be it the BAF annual report, to audited financials, to whatever the nomination forms, proceedings, bylaws. Every information is being made available in the website. So that's your one source of truth for all the documents. And the essential documents were also emailed to the general body, right? So with that, let's begin. And so on the stage, I would like to welcome Mr. Vikram Rai, President of Bangalore Apartment Federation, and Vice President Satish Malya, and Treasurer Sundar Rajan, and Joint Secretary Zamir Nadaf. Zamir, may I request you to be on stage? Yeah. Thank you very much. With that, I hand it over and I request Mr. President, Mr. Vikram Rai, to come on stage and make his few opening remarks. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. Respected representatives of member associations, management committee members of member associations, fellow resident leaders, my esteemed colleagues of the Governing Council, Executive Council, Cluster Councils, and all well-wishers, whoever is here at the occasion of this 11th Annual General Body Meeting. A warm welcome to you all, first of all. Thanks for making it and braving it on a Sunday morning in spite of so much of VVIP movement, restrictions, and traffic advisories, etc. So I appreciate the fact that so many of you have turned up over here. It's a moment of both pride and a touch of bittersweet emotion as I stand before you today at our 11th Annual General Body Meeting. Incidentally, in my final address as President of BF. Thank you. First and foremost, I want to thank each one of you, the management committee members, our zonal cluster leaders, our governing council members, our executive council members, our staff who've been working tirelessly, and of course, every one of the more than 1,300 member apartment associations for your trust, for your commitment, and also your relentless support and energy. Thank you all once again, I think, for being there always with BAF. So leadership, as I always have said, is never a solo act. It is never a one-person game, it's a team game. So every milestone we have achieved has been the result of collective ownership and collaboration with all of you. I've been privileged to witness the true power of community in action. All of you people who have come together relentlessly on so many different issues, so many different campaigns, so many different programs. Not in abstract terms, but always in concrete terms, right? That have changed the way apartment living is perceived and experienced in Bangalore. I think in the last 8 years, we have all come together to at least bring BAF as, if not the definitive, one of the most definitive platform for citizen and community action. So congratulations to all of you for having contributed in this journey so far. My thank you for that as well. So when I assumed the role of president, we were already a strong platform, which was 2 years back, right? But we have built this on the strength in the last 2 years. So in this term, which has just gone past, I think we have built on top of the strength that we already had established in 2023. Our General Secretary Vishnu will of course provide more details of all the activities and updates that have happened through specifically in the last 1 year and more generally in the last 2 years during our term. So I will request him to do that. But over the last 8 years in which many of us have been involved, at least definitely I have been involved in various roles in BAF. I have seen the growth of BAF both in scale and influence, right? Both in numbers and in terms of the impact that we have been able to create. In terms of membership growth, approximately 2016 when BAF restarted, right? The rebirth of BAF, which happened in 2016, there were approximately about 50 communities as members. So now we have grown to almost 1,400 residential associations as members. That's a huge growth over the period of 8 years, nearly about 3 lakh households that are part of the BAF community today, represented by many of you. So that's a huge growth that has happened. As far as advocacy is concerned, policies, campaigns with the government, government issues, etc. is concerned, we have stood together on many, many issues, right? We have worked together on many, many issues. Starting with, in 2016, many of you might remember, we were together on the streets for the STP campaign. It started out from there. The rebirth of BAF happened from there. Then subsequent to that, tackling multiple challenges with government on electricity, water, waste, property taxes, GST, pet guidelines, EV charging, fire safety. The list is endless and the list is long. I think today we've been able to provide support to our member associations on everything possible. And in many cases, we've been able to sort the issues also and provide some direction to our member apartments, basically, right? And influence policy for the better. We have actually come to the policy formulation table very recently in the last year. The amendment to the STP policy, the one which started our journey in 2016, sort of concluded in actually influencing the policy through the ministry and department. I think that is a highlight. Our efforts in sustainability and climate change also, in the last 2 to 3 years, we have put a lot of effort to make our member apartments conscious consumers of various kinds of resources, be it water, electricity, etc. and all that. Rooftop solar, we have pioneered several initiatives. Rooftop solar is one pioneering initiative. The establishment and clarity around EV charging stations is one more initiative. And these are not just pioneering initiatives in Bangalore. I do believe that more and more other cities now are also reaching out to. I just had a call about 4 days back with a gentleman who heads a similar collective in Hyderabad, where they wanted some advice on the rooftop solar policy that they were going to meet the government and influence upon. It was apparently Hyderabad is not at all kick-started anything around rooftop solar, so I was able to give them some inputs on how they can position and present data and facts to pitch it to the government. So not just in Bangalore, I think we are setting some kind of examples of people who can follow in other cities of India as well. Of course, when there was any crisis, be it COVID, water shortage, any sudden regulatory hurdles, in BF we have always tried to respond and be there for our members and member apartments, so very proud of that fact. We also, in the last 2 to 3 years, we have started trying to do more and more programs, which is not just impacting the committee members alone, but also has an influence on the average household residents also, more and more. I said we are representing about 3 lakh households, but today, majority of our interactions is with the committee members, people like you all, right? But how can we be in the imagination of the residents is something that we have made conscious effort in the immediate past, more recently in this term. Some of the programs that we have run, for example, we have collaborated with IIM Bangalore, the Real Estate Research Institute, to create the first of its kind, I would say, in the country, a program for management committee members of member apartments called Apartment Governance Essential, or AGE for short. It was an attempt, it was a try. I was reasonably sure that it will be a hit. I think it has already hit the right notes. The first batch got done in April. We have some of the representatives from that batch who are also, I can see them, I can see Prasad over here, I can see Nima, all of them who are present over here as well. So I'm incredibly proud of the fact that we launched that program in collaboration with IIM Bangalore, and that program will now get scaled up for more and more committee members to get coached under the certification of brand of IIM. We have been continuing our association with Beyond Carlton on the fire safety training program for estate managers, which has been very, very successful. Every 2 to 3 months, we conduct one batch. We run a plumbers training program in collaboration with the Asian Paints Color Academy. We've done a very successful collaboration with Hopcoms, who recently reported that they hit 1 crore in revenue through the special Mango Mela campaign that concluded very recently. In about 3 months, they were able to achieve sales of about 1 crore of rupees, I think, which is very, very significant for the farmers who supply the produce, as well as Hopcoms as an organization itself. Very proud of that fact. The Kannada Kalyona program that we started very recently has been a super hit. Every time that we launched the registration for that program, more than 2,500, 3,000 registrations come within a span of 2 days, which means that average residents are really interested in learning the language, assimilating with the community of Bangalore, the culture of Bangalore, etc. So that has been a super hit. And so many other programs which have been successful, which are reaching the doorstep of individual households. So I do believe that the brand of BAF is getting strengthened more and more. In doing all this, we also kept a very close eye on the organizational processes and systems, be it technology, social media, etc. So there's an exclusive team which has worked relentlessly on improving the visibility and the systems, processes, capability of the organization itself, be it financial, accounting, etc. So that is something which has happened. And each of these efforts has not been powered by one person or one office bearer or GC members, but many, many committed volunteers as well. It is the power of collective wisdom which has come together. So if I were to sum up BAF's uniqueness, I would say, so we are all ordinary citizens doing extraordinary things simply because we care enough to work together, right? I think that collective strength for all to come together and for ordinary people to do extraordinary things where the impact is much, much higher is what very beautifully sums up what BF does. So we have proven that when apartment communities unite, they can be a force for social good, environmental sustainability, and civic responsibility. A living proof of all of you who have come on a Sunday morning to participate in this meeting today. So leadership change is healthy for any organization. That's my firm belief. And as I hand over the baton to the next president today who will get elected and the new governing council, I do so with the full confidence that BF will definitely reach newer and greater heights, right? It is bound to continue and improve and move to greater heights. To the incoming leadership, my only input is you inherit a strong foundation, but also the responsibility to keep BAF inclusive, transparent, and fearless in its advocacy to all the members, right? To all the stakeholders, basically, right? And to all you members who are participating over today, I think your engagement will determine BAF's success, right? So it's a yin and a yang. The leadership has to work for you, and you have to support the leadership to be able to keep the balance. Please do keep showing up, keep raising your voice, and keep the spirit alive always, right? That, and I say, as I say that, I see Muralidhar Rao over there, who's the true meaning of that spirit. So anyway, in my final words as president, thank you for giving me this opportunity to serve you all. It has been one of my greatest privileges to be first your treasurer, your general secretary, and then your president. My commitment to BF does not end over here. So somebody was asking, so I'll be around. So any help, any guidance, anything that you need, any support, anything, or you need somebody to speak to, please feel free. Many of you have my number. So I will remain a very active and passionate sort of champion and supporter of BF in the coming days. Let us continue to prove that in Bangalore, apartment communities are not just places to live, they are also where people and citizens come up to lead, right, and take the lead in many, many initiatives. Thank you all for the opportunity, and God bless, and I'll wish this meeting a lot of success.
Thank you very much, Vikram. Uh, the next agenda point is adoption of minutes of meeting for the last AGM held on 14 September 2024. So, uh, those who are in favor of passing this resolution, please raise your hand and say aye. So, with a majority, it is resolved that we adopt the minutes of the last AGM. Then I would move on and take roughly about probably an hour to recap what was done by BAF in the last two terms, or primarily focus on the last 1 year, but also since this is a term that's coming up, maybe 1 or 2 points are what were done in the last 2 years as well. So at 11:20, we'll have a short break before we move on to the finance session. So with that, I start. First of all, thanks to all the governing council members who are part of this term. I've listed all the 21 names. I cannot read out all, but you can take a look, the 21 members. And we had one GC member resigned last December due to personal reasons. That is Ramachandra Ramanna. And we had 3 vacancies within the governing council just at the onset of after the last AGM. So those 3 vacancies were filled or by co-opting 3 new members into the governing council, Ramesh Padmanabhan, Sandhya Bhatt and Subhash Panikar, right? So they were co-opted in January 1st, 2020, I think January 1st or 2nd, 2025. So they were part of this governing council for this year. So I think as most of you are already familiar with, the structure of the federation was primarily, the governing council was structured in 3 verticals. This is basically for ease of functioning. Of course, this can be changed in future when the next teams take over. So the 3 verticals were the solution squad, which were primarily focused on government liaising, policy topics, or working in terms of trying to solve problems of the apartments primarily, right? So dealing with the governments and other authorities. And the second vertical is primarily to develop and execute programs that add value to our members, right? So one thing is, either usually our members come to us when they either have a problem and else we add some value to them, right? So that's where we designed and delivered a lot of programs there. We talk about those. And finally, the Growth Gurus is basically an internal, or you can say the back-end or backbone team that supports the organizational functioning of the BAF, right? So that's the purpose of Growth Gurus. So those were the 3 verticals, and all the governing council members were either focusing on one of those verticals to deliver value. And again, thanks to the next level of leadership that we had, because it's not easy as we have let's say as of now 1100 valid members, I would say, so 1063 valid members to be precise. We cannot manage altogether from a top-down vertical management style of 21 governing council members. Of course, thanks a lot to all the executive council members who are cluster presidents, secretaries of various clusters. So as of this term, we had about 27 clusters of BAF. So this is not a fixed list. This keeps evolving. This keeps changing based on the needs. If a cluster becomes too big to manage, then we try to break it down into smaller clusters and have a management. Otherwise, it becomes really difficult to manage. So each of the cluster had a cluster president and cluster secretary who would be your first point of contact to ask or resolve any questions or queries. So thanks to all the cluster president, secretaries, and the entire executive council for their fantastic work. And quick update on the employees. I will touch upon this a little later as well. So we have, as of now, 2 employees, Ashwini C, you may see her at the desk, and KC Veer Raghavan, who has been there with us for so many years. And that's our employee strength, and I'll touch upon those updates a little later on what we have done. And membership status, the number of active BAF members as of July 1st, 2025 is 1063 members. And few more have been added because there were some apartments who have not paid their renewal fees for, let's say, 2 years or more. Then when we sent them a final notice, then some of them have paid. So this number as of today would have slightly changed, and it would have grown probably close to 1100, right, the valid active members. And the total number of members that we have added from last AGM to this AGM is 60. That is as of July 1st. And now if you take today, August 10th, maybe we can add probably 5-10 more. And total number of BAF members with membership dues for 2 years, which is 2023-24 and 24-25, are 157 members. and which effectively means these members will be removed from the membership failing to pay the dues. I think majority of those members would be no longer cease to be BF members after this, right? So, and thanks to Vikram, he's touched upon a lot of other key priorities overall that BF team has been doing. But broadly speaking, let's say there are few bullets that help you understand what were our focus areas that as a team, as a leadership team that we have been focusing on. The first has been the burning issue for many apartments that we don't have a legal framework or a clarity in terms of property ownership and management, right? So we had multiple acts and some legal cases, illegalities, so on, so on. So that was one of the focus area on how we can bring a comprehensive apartment ownership and management act, and that required a lot of efforts from the whole leadership team. And the next point is about improving transparency and efficiency of various compliance processes. Sir, this whole thing is available in annual report. So if you go, this is actually a shortened version of the annual report. So annual report is more comprehensive that I don't want to read out every sentence of the annual report. So if you go to the bf.org.in/agm-2025, you will find a PDF of this whole annual report, right? So it is a little bit more detailed than this, right? So no need to bother about taking screenshots. Everything is available. Go click download. Yeah. So then the other topic is improving transparency and efficiency of various compliance processes, be it the KSPCB consent for operation, fire department, let's say renewals and things like that, electrical inspectorate and GST clarifications. And most importantly, the clarification and simplification of different policies of different organizations. As we as apartment management committees, we deal with different authorities like BESCOM, BWSSB, KSPCB, so on, so on, so on. So how can we bring more clarity and how we can simplify the processes for our member apartments? And of course, lobbying for policies and guidelines for environmental safeguards or any other applicable policies for us. Participating in lobbying for better urban planning and infrastructure for the city. Then finally, ultimately, how can we help our members with several welfare and support programs that add benefit to our members, such as, let's say, Hopcom's Mango Mela, or one of the most successful program for BAF is the Kannada Kalyana program, right? So such is the value that we would wanted to add. So then with these as the key focus areas, I will try to break down a little bit into each one of them and try to give you a little bit of tidbits into what we have done. Like I said, of course, all the details are available in the annual report for you to consume, which is comprehensive. So the first aspect or breakdown of the annual report is the legal policy aspects of what we have done. So the most important thing, as I think you may have seen plenty of WhatsApp messages, advisories and things like that we have done, is BF leadership team has been engaging with a lot of government officials, MLAs for years together, right? In fact, it goes way back into when the momentum picked steam is when we have launched the Every Vote Matters campaign, and we've invited all major political party representatives come and debate, and many of them have even put in their election manifestos that they would bring a clarity in terms of apartment ownership and management acts. So it all started way back in, let's say, 2023 or even a little earlier than that as a prep work for that. And then BF team has made several representation to ministers, MLAs to raise the topics in the assembly. That's to bring the political clout required for this topic. And at the same time, we worked with a lot of civic groups, from various parts of Bangalore who are expert in these policy topics, and we have done policy jam and other discussions basically to get a comprehensive view from all other bodies also. And then finally, we had to work with the government officials of various departments, be it urban development department or law department or different departments to move a lot of things, in a different manner to bring some clarity to this. So right now, I think it's at a stage where it's ripe. I guess hopefully we'll have a legislation passed quite soon, and hopefully the next team will enjoy and bring that success and joy to all our members in the next term, right? So that's what we are hoping for, that so that things will happen in that front. And other guidance activities in terms of legal and policy aspect that were done are guidance or guideline on how to file the annualized returns for apartments that are registered with KSRA and the apartments that have had, let's say, a lot of pending renewals or document submissions missing with the society registrar. That was also helped clarified that matter. And clarifications on income tax matters and income tax notices. A parihara session was done on that to clarify. And labor laws and labor management in residential communities, that was also clarified to our members that, yeah, we don't come in the ambit of labor laws. Then risk mitigation sessions in general for management committees. How can we manage the risks within an apartment, safety hazards, legal risks, and various other risks, right? Then finally, some other clarifications on monthly maintenance. Should it be on per square feet, or how do you do those kind of things? A lot of legal clarifications were given. And then BF is also involved in, let's say, multiple legal cases, right? So a quick summary or a glance of these legal cases is listed here. So one of the, let's say, a long-standing case was it was filed in 2014. I think the founding BAF team has filed a legal case on BWSSB regarding the water tariffs increase, and initially it saw quite a less progress and it was frequently adjourned a lot. And finally it was dismissed because later the further revised orders and all that came. But now this topic is of relevance again. I think there will be fresh appeals made now that there is a fresh water tariffs increase, right? So that's about the case one. And there is another writ petition that was filed by another organization. They filed in the Karnataka High Court seeking to quash registration of all DODs basically which were registered under KOA. And BAF joined that case as an impleading party in 2021. But that case is really on a slow burner and it's not moving anywhere, right? So that's the progress of it. As and when it's required, we will respond to that. And the other important or significant case for all our members is way back, we had started receiving notices. Many member apartments started receiving notices because NGT has put a fine on BBMP, KSPCB for lake pollution, let's say Bellandur lake pollution, etc. And many member apartments which did not have CFO back then, consent for operation, they were penalized environmental compensation of 5 lakh rupees, right? And it was for a lot of high number of apartments. Then BF team has approached the High Court in different writ petitions to get a stay order on, there was a threat of disconnection of water, disconnection of power, etc. So then we went to High Court and subsequently got a stay order, and then later on the matter was concluded in High Court because the core matter went to the NGT where we had to challenge and approach NGT as well as the Supreme Court, right? Finally, the status states that it is actually the Supreme Court dismissed our appeal based on the grounds of delay. But nonetheless, this is a sore point for all our members, still some of them who have not paid the environmental compensation. So we are exploring further legal options and we are in touch with some of those members on how do we take this forward as a next step. So that's something that we are doing, and the next governing council will take this forward. And coming to the energy topic, some of the key initiatives that we have done in energy topic with respect to multiple aspects of energy. One is the streamline the process of EV charging guidelines. There was a lot of missing clarification. Can I have a charging point in my own parking? Should I always use a common charging point? What are the guidelines? Can management committee reject or authorize my own charging points? Things like that, right? So we have worked with KERC and BESCOM to make sure that there is a clarity in those guidelines, and that makes it amply clear now for our members while they look at charging stations installations in the apartment. And lobbied with KERC to reverse. There was a rooftop solar limits requirement wherein they lowered the threshold to have an inspection requirement, so which will be an extra overhead costs and process drag for all our members. So after our successful appeal, so that order was reversed, and which is helpful. And we assisted members who have got notices with respect to retrofitting of emission control devices for diesel generators. So there also we assisted our members, and many other localized, like wherever meetings that happened, we brought in the BESCOM officials, we solved the local issues of those clusters in those areas, right? For instance, I think in January we had meetings in Electronic City, Bannerghatta Road, many other places we had BESCOM officials coming in and answering all the local queries that people have asked for, right? And so many other things that we are doing, and simplification of solar subsidy policies, etc. Then the next topic or next area of very much interest for all of us, considering the water scarcity, tanker crisis, and all those things that we have faced. So BF team worked very closely with the BWSSB leadership team and other stakeholders on different processes related to water. So in terms of BWSSB, we have done several sessions to clarify how to get new Kaveri water connections, and we have done such sessions again in many cluster and zonal meetings in person. And again, we brought in the BWSB officials to those meetings, and we have had several direct interactions with the BWSB chairman himself and chief engineers, etc. Right? And we made representation on BWSB water tariff increase, and we are also exploring legal options to challenge them in courts, things like that. So that's what we are trying to do. And we are working with key partners and agencies, how we can have a water sufficiency, how can we design better programs for our members and things like that. So this is a brief of what we have done with respect to the water connection. Coming to the safety and security aspects, we have helped several members with lift license renewals, provided a lot of clarity on fire safety in apartments, and we continue to engage with KSFES. Of course, we have a lot of sore and unresolved points that I think we continue to work with the KSFES, that for the fire clearance certificate, that apartments need to renew. There are several hurdles that we are not getting the clearance certificate. So that's something that remains a sore point for us, and that I think hope we continue to engage with them and hopefully have a breakthrough in future. So that's something that we look forward. And then municipal affairs with the likes of panchayats, BBMP, ward committees or whatnot. So we are representing members' interests in various municipal related affairs. For example, BBMP, be it with respect to e-Khata, we have done sessions on e-Khata, a lot of advisories on e-Khata. We have actually conducted or helped members conduct e-Khata camps with Janasevaka, and continuous running advisories were given to provide enough clarity on that matter. And engaged with BSWML, I think you all know that now there are new proposals that to charge 12 rupees per kg of wet waste and dry waste. The costs, I mean the contractors are getting changed, and a lot of new regulations have come in. BSWML as a new entity has been brought into force and things like that. So we have made enough representations, and also we are looking at legal options on how can we challenge BSWML on the absurd increase in terms of tariffs and the way the waste processing is going to be done in the city, right? So this is something, an interesting area for all of us, because it's a matter of a lot of maintenance costs and financial aspects also have a huge impact with this. Engaging with BBMP officers in solutions with different localities as and when required. And yeah, e-Khata is talked about. Solid waste management, we have given some advisory in terms of how to handle the component of SWM while people pay the property tax. And I mean, many other issues that we have helped with, right? So that's a simple brief about municipal affairs. And to deal with all these issues, anything related to government, we have created one common support mechanism. I think you may have seen in the WhatsApp groups called KYCS, Know Your Compliance Status. So with this URL, basically you can, if you have an issue with KSPCB CFO, you have an issue with borewell, you have an issue with Kaveri water connection, lift license. So this is like a one single form that is created basically to capture all the inputs, because this is one way when we are going and meeting any government official, we can show them a collective responses of, hey, look, we have 100 CFOs pending for these member apartments. So we can do a collective push with the departments on various aspects, right? So this is a very important topic that going forward, please help us help us with the data, so that when we are going and talking to a government official, they will simply ask how many apartments have pending CFOs. We should have a data, right? So how many apartments have issues with Kaveri water connection. If we have enough data, that gives us enough power to go and negotiate with them or discuss and try to solve issues for people, right? Then knowledge repositories, we have baf.org.in. You can go and check the knowledge base articles, some of the documents that were published. And recently we have been doing a lot of video sessions also along with the documents. That is, as you can see, if you go to BAF YouTube channel, it's a treasure trove of information. As and when we are doing any session that's useful for our members, it's being stored and recorded and stored in YouTube channel. So you can just go search in BAF Bangalore YouTube channel and find the necessary information that you want. So we have different series called Parihara Solution Talk series where we are trying to address all solve problems of member apartments. And then Samparka Monthly Digest, a series by me to communicate with members, to give a brief gist of what was happening in the previous months, etc. Then you have a ton of videos of our biggest festival, 10 years celebration BF Apartment Habba, and many other webinars with our partner hospitals, for example, like Rainbow Children Hospitals. We have done many health awareness talks as well, and we continue to do that. And coming to our the other side of it, whatever we have talked about is all the serious and problematic areas. Now it's a bit fun part. So where BF has celebrated 10 years of community building by a grand celebration of apartment Habba in Bantsanga. So thanks to all the people, I think probably 1,200 people have come as an overall floating crowd, and hundreds of performers. We had we had engaged with event management companies and all that, because we had to do a lot of screening, because we cannot give a chance to all the performers on stage. We had to have preliminary screenings and everything. It was amazing to see enthusiastic participation in dance, singing, music, etc. From our members. And it was a showcase of talent. And we had a great time with our partners, sponsors, and it was an event that is very, very memorable. So then coming to the second vertical mainly, where we were primarily focusing on how can we deliver valuable programs. One is always, people remember BF when they have a problem. Hey Vishnu, or hey Vikram, hey Satish, I have this problem, can you solve this, right? So that's what people come to if they have a problem. General tendency is that people tend to forget or take not so much interest in BF if they don't have any problems, right? So then we tried to change that by how can we proactively engage with members, and how can we create something which will add as a value addition to them. So some of the programs is the Sikshana, which is basically training or upskilling programs. Let's say, flagship or a most successful program is Conversational Kannada Kaliyona program we have done. And so far in 3 batches, we have had 9,000 plus people have registered and learned Kannada. We have had certification programs. We have had celebrities coming over for those graduation ceremonies and everything else. It was an overwhelming response. It says that how many people here who are living in Bangalore want to learn conversational Kannada. Many a times we had to close the registration forms because it was overflowing with overwhelming number of registrations, right? So that is a great success. And thank you. And we have the next program that has been continuing from previous term, or let's say the previous year, the previous year as well. That is the for management committee and facility managers fire safety awareness program. So we are doing that in association with the fire department in Arya Munkur Fire Academy at Bannerghatta Road near Dairy Circle. So we continue to train facility managers. So far this year we have done, let's say, probably around 240 estate managers and management committee members who are trained. So the idea is that learn fire safety, go back and be like a trainer that you have trained yourself here, and go and percolate or inform your residents in terms of the fire safety aspects. Then, yeah, as Vikram already mentioned, one of the, let's say maybe the next flagship program, or one of the successful program which invited a lot of attention, or it was a difficult program to curate, is the IIMB Indian Institute of Management Real Estate Research Initiative Apartment Governance Essentials program. So that is something that we had to have a lot of discussions, deliberations with Indian Institute of Management teams to curate a curriculum. Who will be the what makes sense to people, what doesn't make sense. So just designing the program and executing it over, let's say, 4 or 5 weekends. That was first pilot batch was done. It's actually approximately 30. It's not 30. It's probably 25. That's what they've done. So we continue to plan to do more and more of these programs, maybe at least once every quarter in future, and looking forward for that. And for plumbers, we continue to associate with Asian Paints, and we keep advanced plumber training programs to our plumbers, so that they become competent and more skillful at the what work they do. And yeah, coming to the sustainability programs, we have piloted a textile circularity program in collaboration with Samuhika Shakti, where just with 5 member societies, we've done textile recycling, as you know, with the fast fashion and everything. So many of the people have a lot of textiles to discard. So that's a pilot that we have done, and hopefully we can scale it in future for textile recycling. And aqua aware program for children involving member apartments, so that they build an understanding of water usage and other aspects. And we have done webinars on treated water usage, and Hasiru retrofit event was connected in IIM Bangalore campus on treated water usage, right? So that was the thing. Okay. Then coming to the Kshema or well-being aspect, so we have so many partners when it comes to the health and well-being or wellness. So we tailored several programs for physical and mental health. One is the clinic. So we have worked with an organization called Clinic, and where we have an MOU, where we have customized group health insurance. This is something that we should see in great numbers in future, that we offer health insurance, especially for member staff, BAF member staff. How can they benefit? Many of the workers that work in, maybe it can be domestic worker, staff, or estate manager, or housekeeping and all. So you could really help them, right? So with this health insurance program that we have designed, and we have done a pilot and we have onboarded a few members. And we have an MOU with Rainbow Children Hospital. They're also one of our sponsors. And Rainbow Children Hospital delivered several health awareness sessions. You can find those videos on YouTube in terms of different aspects of health. Then continuing to do, we have a MOU with an organization called Rashtrottana, where to conduct blood donation camps. So you can know more details about all these in our portal, and maybe conduct more blood donation camps in your apartment. Arogya City is one other health partners with whom we are working with. They are basically into bringing and extending health awareness, where how can we spread health awareness amongst our members. So we can do various programs in collaboration with them, as they bring a lot of other players onto the table, such as hospitals, etc. Then government departments, we facilitated programs with BBMP for dengue prevention, and other things, right, with Ayush department for yoga sessions and things like that, right? So this is in terms of well-being aspect, Kshema. Then coming to Samudaya or community, this is also one of the key successful programs, and Hopcoms, I think many of you know and aware and have utilized this Mango Mela or Hopcoms vegetable delivery. Hopcoms is basically, those who don't know, it's a collective, you can say, an cooperative society of farmers. So they have done, so far in 90 apartment communities, Mango Mela, not just Mango Mela, many apartments, they come regularly, and weekends they keep the fruits and vegetables for sales and all that. So they're really happy and grateful that they've almost touched, if I remember correctly, 1 crore of turnover or something they've done, right? So through BAF, so which is a commendable thing, and we are adding value, we are supporting farmers, and in turn, we are also getting fresh produce directly from farmers, right? So that's another program. Then coming to the key organizational systems or capacities that we have built, one of the milestone achievements is that we now have an office, that BAF team has a place to have meetings, to employees to be working. So far, all these years we have been working remotely, but now we have an office. Please do drop in and visit. It is S712 Manipal Center, Dickinson Road. So then coming to our employees and interns, I touched upon this, that we have 2 employees at the beginning. So one of our long-standing employee, Sri Rama VM, she had formally resigned on February 5th due to her personal reasons, and she was employed with us from inception for almost 7.5 years, and we thank her for services, and she was relieved on April 30th, 2025. Now, what the task that Rama was doing as membership coordinator, like adding in WhatsApp group, removing in WhatsApp group, adding members in portal, or coordinating for many other things, follow-ups and all those things. So that responsibility is taken by Ashwini, who has been hired as our program manager. So she's doing both the coordination for programs as well as the membership coordinator work. And our other employee, KC Virraghavan, he's the one who is calling all of you to make the payments and following up, collecting the checks, etc. And we hired 3 interns for a period of 3 months between March and June to work on various sustainability initiatives. So the idea is that that's also better opportunity for interns so that they have some experience in community related programs, and which will add value to their academics, and it will also benefit us that we bring some fresh energy to deliver some required content for us. Moving on. Then membership engagement and development. So we have had several zonal and cluster meetings. Like the idea was to do it every quarter. Hopefully we can start doing it in the new term. That between January and March we had several clusters across Bangalore had either cluster meeting or zonal meeting. We have done the meetings in a way that we brought the local issues of that area, be it BESCOM issues, BBMP issues, or any of those issues. We brought in the necessary officials to those meetings, and wherever we had to roll out certain programs, we have rolled out those programs, and it was very, very useful and successful with vibrant participation from a lot of people. Because the moment we say that we are bringing a VWSB executive or a AE to a meeting, everybody want to come in and talk about their issues with respect to water. And so the moment we said that we are bringing in a BESCOM official, AE or E, so then they want to come and tell about their BESCOM problems, something like that, right? So that was also very, very engaging for members in many parts of Bangalore where, we could do that. And new member orientation programs, that's another thing that we have done, which is every time a change of management committee happens, new members join. So they should know what is BAF, how they can get benefit out of BAF. So we had continuously doing this new member orientation programs. So if you are newly joined your MC or a new member of BAF, you would get an invite for this monthly, let's say, orientation or onboarding program. Then coming to we have been disseminating a lot of information bulletins about various initiatives. That's one of the ways that with which we were engaging with members. And technology and digital systems, we have ensured that we have done some improvements to BF Connect app and portal, and several enhancements were done. And now we have a lot of automated renewal process, automated new onboarding members, notifications, WhatsApp API integration and things like that. And we've also developed and launched Kannada website, so you can go change the language and you'll see the website also in Kannada, right? So some of these capacity related aspects were built. And when it comes to media and social media, right? So we increased the social media outreach via different platforms. Primarily our target is, let's say, main focus areas are X, which was Twitter, and then YouTube and LinkedIn. Yeah, that's our primary area, and to some extent Instagram and Facebook. And we had developed an comprehensive communication policy so that it is very clear and easy for the next leadership teams. During the last 1 year or this whole term, we have developed a lot of strategic partners with our sponsors, and we have collected few lakhs of sponsorship money, and those financials our treasurer Sundar will give a clarification on. But it's good, you can go to BAF website again, go to the sponsor section. You can actually see what benefit you can get. For example, let's say we have a sponsor who is offering tenant verification services. How can you benefit from it? Let's say we have a hospital who is offering free neighborhood cards to give discounted consultations or things like that. So we have some benefits curated by our sponsors, and then please go and get benefited of those sponsors programs, right? And yeah, we have a clear process on MOUs. Look, we have, I think, probably 10, 12 MOUs were signed so far with different organizations, like be it Hopcoms, be it Rainbow Children Hospital, be it Sparsh Hospital. So we have done a lot of MOUs to say how can we deliver value from those organizations to our members. So yeah, leverage those as well. So you can check the sponsors and partners information in our website. And I think I'm super fast, so I have 20 minutes left. So I think then we'll have a time for probably a few questions for 15 minutes before we go into a tea break. So before I conclude the year, right, so just what I've just covered as an express news bulletin is just a glimpse of the annual report. Please go and read the annual report in detail. I think it's a 21-page report. You can access from the website, download it, and please read. And few acknowledgements for the year. I want to thank the entire GC team for their leadership and stewardship and putting so much efforts to take BAF to the next level. And acknowledging the EC team, the Executive Council Cluster President Secretaries, for ensuring that there is good enough engagement and helping members on the ground level, right? And acknowledgement to our staff for their tireless contribution and effort. And acknowledgement to all our partners, like I mentioned, Hopcoms, IAMB, and many others. And a lot of media friends, because our voice is heard and amplified a lot in the newspapers and news channels, etc. Thanks to our media partners. And many other civic organizations with whom we have MOUs and partnerships with to do several programs. And finally, I want to thank all our member representatives for continuous support and encouragement. Before I table the resolution of adoption of annual report, which I briefly presented, so since we have, let's say 15 to 20 minutes, I would take any questions on any other aspects of the annual report so far, and then we could take a short coffee break, and then we'll resume with our treasurer's presentation on financials. So 15 minutes for questions. Maybe I'll pass on the mic.
Hello. Hello.
Check.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. I'm Surajit Kumar Sharma from Brigade Meadows Apartment Owners Association. I just come up with a new and challenging problem facing by Brigade Meadows. That is a street dog problem.
Okay.
The street dog problem last several years we have been facing. Recently we have been approaching several government authorities, but our main issue is there is no clear guideline from anybody. Okay. Our main problem is the street dog issue. It's not working, I think. Hello? No, it's not working. Hello?
Not working. 1 second.
My name is Surajit Kumar. I am from Brigade Apartment Association from Kamapura Road and here. So I have a unique problem from our society, that is street dog issues. Last several years we have been facing very big problem with our street dogs. There is no clear guidelines in the case of the street dogs, and neither from the government authorities, neither from any of the other associations, things, we do not have any clear guidelines. Because of the street dog issue, we have been regularly having big issues from the group of people who are in favor of the street dogs and the other group of people who are against the street dogs. Because there is no clear guidelines, people are feeding the street dogs inside the apartment, wherever they want to feed the dogs, they are feeding the dogs. As a result, some of the people are getting agitated, and in some cases it is going up to the police case. As a result, some NGOs have come into place, and those NGOs, especially few ladies, they come and go to the police station, all the other people, they are targeting our people. So we are in nowhere how to handle this issue. So we have recently approached the Director of Veterinary, we have approached our local government authorities to resolve this issue. But nobody has any clear issues because of everybody says this is under the government guideline, or there is law that you cannot harm these street dogs. But number of street dogs last year back only 5 or 10. Now it has increased to 50 or 60. So we are in very big issues. In the last 1 or 2 years, we have several incidents of dog bitings. We have a very big area of around 35 acres. People are unable to go out of their homes. It's like a self-made curfew kind of things is happening. So we have already approached government authorities or other local bodies. We are seeking for guidance from you if you have any guidance for them. Thank you very much.
Sure, thank you. I can say it in two folds. I think one thing is like from BF website point of view, whatever the pet guidelines that we have worked with BFP and necessary authorities we have published in the website that you can refer. If there are certain other things that you felt are not covered or not comprehensive or clear enough for you, I would suggest you to get in touch with Valli Srinivasan, who is there, our governing council member. Maybe you can socialize with her during the break, because she's been directly working with on this pet policy, and maybe she could help you with that specific question of street dog menace within the apartment. But otherwise, I think there are broadly guidelines are clear, but there may be some nitty-gritties or gray areas where you don't know what to do, right? So that's something that you can take probably advice from her. But nonetheless, they could not direct every possible loophole, right? But that's why the broad guidelines are given. So that's something that could be discussed. Next question. Mike?
Hello. Hi. Can I take a question? Sure. So this is Chandan Shah, President of Godrej 24 Association, Shajapur. My question refers to a particular challenge. For example, we became members of BWSSB because we have challenges relating to water. And we had read on the site that you had signed up with BWSSB to buy STP treated water. But let's say we followed that channel and we were outrightly rejected by BWSSB saying that they don't need any water, and even at the early levels after we became member, we found that it has not made major breakthroughs. So what is the comment on that? And let's say if we face certain challenges, who do we address and how do we address challenges related to the government officials?
Sure. Maybe Satish, do you want to take that? So broadly speaking, right, BWSB and BF have been working together. How can we, BWSB wants water, BBMP lakes want water. How can we efficiently use this treated water to be connected to lakes or to be used for different purposes, right? From BF point of view, we have been working with, on the same table, the CREDI people, BWSSB and BAF and many other organizations at one table to see how can we solve this problem. One of the initial pilots that were suggested was maybe few apartments we pick from closer proximity to lakes. If I remember correctly, it's somewhere near Bangalore, where how can BWSSB fund, or I think they floated even tenders to connect pipelines from a certain area of apartments to those lakes, so that excess treated water from those apartments can be used for filling of the lakes. In a similar way, other discussions were held in place. Let's say with respect to CREDI, the builder's body, how can we create a mechanism where we can use this treated water for construction, right? They've raised certain technical questions in terms of certain content in the water and all that. Those nuances apart, but the efforts are in place. But unfortunately, it has not gone to the next steps yet, right? In terms of, you need different tankers, different ways of identifying tankers. It will be a health disaster if sometimes treated water tankers gets mixed up with fresh water tanker usage, or some other logistical issues, like there are no pipelines to connect to the lakes and things like that. So some apartments, I think L&T South City has done it, right? L&T South City has connected their treated water into lakes water. So I think there are some examples, but broadly it's not yet in place. That mechanism is not yet existing, and hopefully we can have it in future, right? So
Sir, check.
Should I switch this off?
Check.
So just like, Chandan, who asked that question. Just to, I think he's given a reasonable answer, clarification as well. See, these are systemic issues, sir, right? It will take some time for the overall system to evolve as well. You are very right that as far as your individual efforts to check consumption and buying by BWSSB is concerned, that might have been met with negative results. But having said that, I think that process is still moving forward. So there is an opportunity for a bunch of apartments in one neighborhood to come together to create a pilot to demonstrate that treated used water of a certain quality can be purchased by BWSSB for different kinds of use cases, is still alive and open, right? So my suggestion would be to get in touch with the BAF team wherever you are and see if we can build a consensus among a bunch of apartments also in the neighborhood to be able to create a critical mass or a critical volume of treated water which can then be negotiated. I think what will happen is individually if you go to the BWSSB officials, they may outright reject. But if we go, that's again where I think the BAF cluster and a group of apartments will make sense. So I would highly recommend that, after this meeting today also get in touch with one of the team members to see how, and also play a role in your area to build consensus among a bunch of apartments to participate in this group trade activity. That would be my advice. The MOU framework is there, but at the lowest level, I think there are still tactical challenges which we have to overcome.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Muralidhar Rao. I'm former Vice President of Bangalore Apartment Federation. I will say I threw myself out of the management committee because I think I was being seen as being too much of an activist. Okay. Anyway, I mean, Vikram in his speech talked about fearless approach to the government. I like the use of that word. In fact, 2014, when we started BAF, you know, on this retrospective STP issue, I mean, the way we had confronted both the most powerful ministers, Mr. Ramalinga Reddy and Mr. T.J. George, I remember that meeting when we had given them an ultimatum. And that was fearlessness, and they had to back out and withdraw that notification. After that, I'm a little surprised why we have gone cold on so many issues, particularly BESCOM. BESCOM, now I've been repeatedly trying to bring to focus this issue of power supply. I mean, there are cities in this country which have excellent, near 100% reliable power supply, Delhi being the latest in the group. Now, when I wanted to bring up this issue and get BAF to pursue this matter with the Karnataka government, there was hardly any response. So finally, that was one of the issues that made me resign from BAF and pursue this matter in my own capacity. I filed a PIL, and it went up to the court, and then, the court it dismissed my petition, but that was on very technical grounds, saying that I was formerly with the electrical industry, and because of which my petition cannot be seen as a public interest to this thing, it can be, there is a bit of an element of private interest. Now, but okay, but my association with the electrical industry was 20 years back. Now, if you go into I have put all the details on my blog, and I have put it on Twitter also, and I expect many people have seen it also. And in the court, the arguments by the respondent lawyers, from that you can see very clearly they were all totally on the defensive. They were admitting totally to their incapacity to manage the power supply in Bangalore. Now, for all of that, I can't see still why BAF can't join in as a petitioner. I'll do the job, not just this thing, but lend me support. Okay, that is exactly what I'm looking for. We have such excellent power supply in various cities already. And why are we suffering this BESCOM's incapacity? Now, similar to this thing, power supply in public transport, in so many areas we can get much better performance from these service providers. Yes, it has to be a PPP. Now there is a problem about, yes, that is where I think, when there is talk about privatization, it's not total privatization, it's PPP. And Delhi model of power supply is an excellent model of PPP. Now why can't we replicate that? Why can't we demand replication of that in Bangalore? That's the question I am asking. And not just in power supply areas, in so many areas. And mind you, even today, the defense supplies are being catered to by private sector in a huge way. So what is the reservation about getting us to provide the services through PPPs is what I can understand. Thank you.
One request, let the question be crisp and short.
Check.
Excluding you, sir.
Check. Mr. Rao, I think when you moved out of BF, just for clarity, and I'm speaking openly over here, right? Your demand was that you want BESCOM to be removed and power supply to be privatized, correct? Yes, yes or no? Sir, PPP is a word you are using it today. That day your claim was that I want BESCOM to be removed and to be privatized. This was in 2018. Sir, your clear words was I want privatization. Okay. So, yes. Time elapses. Positions of organizations have to be different from positions of individuals, right? At that point in time, our reservation was, is a brazen approach towards privatization acceptable by every members, because everybody depends on a power supply as an essential service, correct? Everybody today still depends on that. Even today we have different bodies like KSPCB, everybody dangling and threatening the risk of disconnection of power, including fire department. Everybody says that, you know, the only one thing that they will use is I will disconnect power, right? So I think we have to be very responsible and calibrated in terms of how we take the approach in terms of some of these issues. Having said that, I really like your spirit and your fight, right? We have to be fearless. Probably from tomorrow onwards, you will find one more person who can join your fight. You lost that battle. You said your appeal was possibly dismissed. I would want to come and look at why your appeal was dismissed and probably offer some advice to you on how it could be improved.
Hello. Hello. Can you hear?
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
I'm Ramesh from Shobha Garnet.
Shobha?
Shobha Garnet.
Okay.
We have already touched upon this fire renewal system.
Which?
Fire renewal system.
Okay.
Okay. Now, it is to be renewed every 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, it is a real big pain point for all of us. There are two issues I think we need to tackle going further. I'm not blaming anyone here. First thing is, I think we should ask them to increase this interval to 5 years minimum. See, because this fire system will not keep on changing every 2 months, 3 months, 5 years, 2 years, isn't it? So it is a system maintained properly if it works for ages. So that's what needs to be done. At least we should ask them to make it as 5 years, once in 5 years. Because it's real pain point. I don't want to record here, but there are so many other issues they expect from us. So that is one thing. So if that can be sorted out, at least our life will be a little bit easier on that count. And another thing is, I think the basic point of the government considering all the apartments as bulk users should be straight away removed. For all purposes, be it water or electricity or whatever may be the concerns, they are making us as bulk users and charge heavily on so many other things. Suppose the same, say 80 apartments, 80 flats or 100 flats, if they are just strewn around as a individual houses, they don't need to comply with any of these things. Just because we are in one building, we have to do so many other things, isn't it? So they should remove that particular, aspect of bulk users. Then automatically a lot of things can be sorted out by doing this. These are the only two things I just want.
Sure, absolutely. I don't know. Can you hear me? Yeah. You want Satish? You want to answer?
I think I'll. Can you hear me? Yeah. Yeah. Specifically on fire, I think that is a one department. We have a lot of issues. Still, we are not able to crack it. But we are taken up this with the highest level, the chief secretary level. I think about 2 weeks back, we had meetings. They invited us, and they are going to come up with a system called ULMS. The chief secretary level decided for apartment or the big volume of residential community, they're going to unify all the services in one portal. So like one issue is now is fire. Tomorrow it can be a CFO of Pollution Control Board. All this they want to bring it to one level. That meeting was attended by CREDAI also, and the BAF also, our team attended that meeting. So I think going forward, this problem can be solved by the bureaucrats, because on the other side, there is a problem saying that no, they delay the fire license and other things. So there also, what they have put is now the highest level, the chief secretary level, they can view saying that where it is the problem, which file is lying where. So they're going to unify it. It's a project, pilot project taken by Karnataka. First, it is a central government project, and that for software is already developed by NIC. And we have seen the demo also, and we also suggested some changes. And as you said, this 5-year process of some of the licenses are acceptable to the government, including the fire. Okay, the fire now is 2 years, you have to get NOC, but they are agreed for 5 years, provided some fees increase and other things. So I think that proposal is still with the government, saying that we have to reduce a lot of bureaucratic things, which they are going to solve it by online. It's a system called ULMS. Okay, I think I answered your.
Sir, Chandra, I'll just
I think you have to switch off your phone. Your phone is connecting with that. Yeah.
Can I just complete one quick point on
Yeah,
that
please,
part,
please,
sir? Just to be under the expectation that once an online system comes, everything will get sorted, right? We should not be under that illusion, right? You are seeing what is happening also now with the e-Khata system. There is enough amount of challenges, gaps, problems, etc. Because these are all systems which are challenging the status quo of many, many decades and years, right? Where a lot of different illegal practices exist. But I think more and more transparency and visibility that customers can get, it is better to be then challenge any hanky-pankiness which happens over there. So ULMS is one example of that. Like Satish said, fire department is a department which we have faced particular amount of trouble in negotiating with them. One of the reasons also being there is constant change of leadership over there. Every 6 months, 8 months, there's a new DGP who gets appointed and their team comes, etc. It becomes very tough to start the conversation again. But having said that, with this ULMS, hopefully the centralized system will bring more sort of transparency, visibility and consistency, not having to do department. The other part is, I think we today suffer from the lack of there being, for your bulk product that you're saying. The biggest challenge is that the laws applicable to different categories of consumer services, be it electricity, be it water, etc., is everything is considered different and different laws apply over there. I think one of the important implications of getting one combined new law, which is what is being pushed for, which is the Apartment Ownership and Management Act. Although KAOA exists, but really 72 Act, nobody is really thinking about that act which was implemented in 1972. I think the new act will give some degree of legitimacy and primacy to the apartment resident community itself to say that, hey, we are governed by one single law now, which is very modern, which is new and which is considering all the issues, and use that as a strategy to say we need consistency of way we are treated also on par with other residential categories. So I think that law is very important on an indirect sense to also tackle this issue of bulk is what I would think going forward. I think the strategy should be to get this law and use this law as a way and a tool towards fighting for removing that bulk tag which is there on apartment residents. That would be my opinion.
Good morning again. My name is Chandrasekhar. First of all, I want to congratulate the entire team for doing a wonderful job for the whole year. And Vishnu mentioned there was a 1 crore plus sale during the Mango Mela. That was a wonderful achievement. At the same time, a lot of the apartments are looking at services for vegetables and rest of the services from Hopcoms. Since this comes under BAF, we have got a wonderful relationship with Hopcoms. Power and water, it's with the government, we have no control over it. If you guys can just look at it, it'll be a great support to all the apartments. And my question is, why was that not considered in the current year?
So, do you mean a kind of a services
Yes.
offerings from BESCOM?
BAF to
BAF to?
apartments for
Yeah, okay, that was thought of, honestly, yeah, that's something that's, we have thought of, I mean, in a sense that BF has so far been an advisory voice of apartments representing their issues at the government and all that, versus what if we create a new separate wing that offers services to our members. It can be a service of helping members get a CFO, helping members get a fire clearance certificate, some sort of liaising services and advisory service. That was given a serious thought, but I think a lot of issues, including the capacity of the leadership teams and everything, that was a challenge. That's still definitely worth considering in future, that we can roll out probably a services wing of BAF, which can help our members to get clarifications on many of these things. It can be advisory, consulting, it can be actually getting things done kind of services. That's a really, really valid input. I think hopefully the next team will take a look into it and look forward to it. It can be even training programs. Like some of the things that we are doing, can we not monetize? Even for example, if you look at the IAMB RARI program, right? So it is a very nominal, I think 5,000 rupees is what we have asked for, and we were refunding some amount and all that. So it is, our intent has not been to make BF a profitable organization, right? Curate a program in Coursera or IAMB to make people pay 50,000 or 1 lakh. That's not the intent. So how can we give value? In a similar way, if you look at the training program for plumbers or estate managers and all, so we are trying to do it like how can we empower our members rather than the moment. I think there's also one important element that the next leadership team can consider is the moment we become an organization that provides services, right? People will kind of the mindset of our members can also shift or a change, right? That's where I think we need to be a little bit careful also that people will start demanding, hey, I paid BF services team 50,000 rupees to do this. It is not being done. It more becomes a kind of a client relationship. But I think it's definitely knowing the knowledge and expertise that we have in our governing council and executive council, probably definitely an idea that's worth exploring for sure in the future. Yeah.
So my name is Rishikesh, and I represent from Raja Risto's apartment. Okay, shall I continue? Okay. So first of all, I would like to thanks for a nice presentation, Vishnu, and thanks for Vikram. I am associated from, at least I am associated from this from last 4-5 years. So it's a wonderful thing to be part of this. But one thing always, like I'm a president of my apartment, and this is after 3 years again I'm got re-elected. Now in between few members always ask, as you rightly covered, the BAF is not an organization which is a client and distinct relationship. So I think this message should go to all the apartment. This is rather an input for the next team. Like always being asked, right? Why should I join BAF? Or why should I pay 5,000 rupees? So this kind of messages always goes. Okay. So I think I can't give input as suggestion, please. Please consider this and inform the people more the value of that. Because when the people join here, they literally see the value. But it's not precluding to the new members who comes, okay? Sure.
Very valid point.
Just a minute. To the particular question of Mr. Rishikesh, I was representing RR Nagar cluster. Actually, I have made a presentation where first of all, what is BAF? I had made a presentation, which is with me, and whoever comes in contact with me, I forward it to them. Second is most important, why we should join the BAF. I have chronologized a list which is running into now 45 or 46 numbers, which I keep on adding. 2020, 21, what we did, 21, 22, 22, 20, like that. So I have got that list and I have forwarded to many persons, and I'll forward it to concerned persons also. It gives a very clear picture that why should we join BAF, and 5,000 is a very paltry amount. If your apartment is having 200 or 250 flats, per month it will come even 1 rupee or 2 rupee, that's all. And the benefit you rupee is definitely 100 or 200 times. Yeah.
So
of course, it will be shared.
Thank you, sir, for pitching in.
157 members are still to join.
Yeah, sure. Okay, I'll take it in 2 parts quickly, and your last question then before we break for tea. And we can continue to do Q&A as the team progresses. You can give after this, Prabhu, after this I'll come to you. And by the way, those who want to have a tea, please have tea quietly so that we can continue the Q&A session for another 10 minutes. So just to answer to this, right, I'll break it down into 2 parts. Part 1 is, are we a service organization? That's exactly the point that I'm coming to, right? It goes to a point that I have paid 2,000 to you to get this done. I have paid 5,000 to you to get this done, right? The perception BF has always been saying, if you go about us and all that, we are a self-help group. We are fighting for our member causes. So we are always looking at how can we cover our expenses for the programs that we want to roll out rather than how can we be profitable. See, profitability, or if you want to cover, right, even the membership fees, to be honest, I think treasurer will cover. It won't even cover many of our expenses. We are even getting sponsorships from many of our sponsors, like mentioned, like Rainbow Hospitals, Godrej Hospitality, and many of those. See, that's also sometimes not enough to cover. Even, for example, some of the legal cases fought. So far, BFS has not asked for any money. I mean, that aside, I think the value, the people like you mentioned, once you come into your WhatsApp group, once you come into your meetings, you understand the value of BAF. The most important point that you mentioned is members, general members don't know. How will a general member know about BFS? When they read a newspaper, Times of India, quotation from Satish, quotation from Vikram or somebody else. That's when you know there is an organization called BF exists, right? And if you see bounce upon us in, let's say, in Twitter or X or YouTube, that's when you know what BF is for general members. We had thoughts of giving our portal or BF Connect access to all our members. Like you can say like some sort of a forums, conversation. Any resident can just come in, read some conversations or read about what BF does and all. We wanted to make it a little bit more inclusive and to bring in members. I think that's a very valid point that still there is a lot to do for BF in that area on how we can do the last mile connectivity to the end members and how can we reach beyond Bangalore. Good point.
A little bit, Rishi. I mean, thanks. You have been coming.
Welcome, sir.
You've been coming regularly, and see, the concept of value is very fungible and it is very inconsistent, right? For 2-3 reasons. One is every 2-3 years, value an organization gives to its constituents, in which case its members, keeps evolving, right? I was just arguing with Mr. Muralidhar Rao that what his argument maybe 2018 or 19 was versus what today our understanding is very different. Maybe today we can take a position to privatize Bestcom. I don't know, I'm just making a random statement. But that evolves over time. Right? The second problem is that our outside of the stakeholders, which are the committee members, etc., also keep changing. Every 1 year you are all, at least I have been seeing you consistently from many years, but actually it's good. There should be newer and new people who should come and get involved. So their expectations and their thinking and etc. also keeps changing, right? So this whole concept of value, of what an organization does for its members, has to consistently evolve and has to consistently refresh. Now after this AGM for the new team, it's a fresh challenge. They have to go back to the drawing board and say, how do we establish value of BF? Of course, there are certain principles which are already there, knowledge, etc. There's a brand. But you have to leapfrog from there again to say, how do I create? It's almost like going back to the drawing board and re-establishing the value proposition for all the members once again. And that's a constant process. There's no stopping of that at all.
Sure. The gentleman in yellow.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Just one moment. Guys, having tea, please have tea. If you would like to have conversation, please step out. Thank you.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Umesh. I come from Brigade Meadows. I'm a member of the society. So my question is connected to two of the answers which Mr. Roy and Vikram gave just now. One is BAF is a helping member. Another one is, yes, even BAF faces the same challenge of the panel getting reset and the problem still remains the same. So what I request BAF is, most of the challenges what we discuss here, they all took birth before we took the handover of the society. And we are continuing these challenges, living together these challenges years together. So my request to BAF is, why don't we create a proper handover document for small, mid and large size apartments? And if these, the handover documents are readily available with a BAF, any new societies which are coming in Bangalore, they can quickly refer them, take the handover. Why I'm requesting this or why I'm asking this is, why a lot of people prefer to buy apartment, because we delegate our trust to the builder and now the trust is misused. And we always rely on the government agencies thinking that this building has been approved by BMRDA or BDA or XYZ authorities. Today, we are getting deceived by both the parties. I hope 90% of the problem, what we face here, they all are misuse of our delegated trust towards the builder and the trust we have on the governing bodies, because these are the same bodies who have given the clearance for these buildings. Later, they will come and ask us the question that, oh, your STP is not working as per the norms. Your building is not as per the norms. You don't have a common area document, right? Are these not the same departments which has given the clearance? Then how the builders are getting the clearance for this? So the crisp question from my side is, why don't BAF act as a helping member for the upcoming members of BAF to come up with lesser problems help us with in solving the problems which we already have in hand. So a request is build a clear handover documents for small, medium and large apartments. Thank you.
Sure. Thank you very much. Noted. One small pilot kind of a thing that was done in this term was, I think, Birla Alokya or some apartment where our governing council members went and did a session to the new management committee. But I agree that a clean handover document is better, but one nuance to that is sometimes it can be very personalized or specific to that apartment. That's why there are companies that are in the space of handover, takeover and all, there are some startups and all. But a general checklist can be given, but a specific thing you probably need some kind of a services or a consultant. Prabhu Patil, after him sir, the mic is there. Work ಆಗ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ?
Hello. Vishnu and Vikram, you mentioned regarding this, I'm going back one question regarding the STP water, treated water released into the lake. One live evidence I want to tell you that we are actually connected with the lake department, KSPCB and BWSSB, and all the three departments agreed to release the water because our water is already meeting whatever the requirement. Lake also has given the confirmation. BWCC also said, okay, go ahead because we need water to the lake. But where we stuck was CFO.
Where?
CFO.
CFO, okay.
CFO, they asked us to provide the CFO certificate, which we don't have because we all know the why we are not getting the CFO. Okay. That is the only reason we are not releasing the water, treated water to the lake now.
Okay.
I heard you. You have any pending case with the pollution control board that you are not paid the environment compensation?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
we have a CFO because we know that part of the 400 plus apartment we went for the court and we are still stuck that every time we are applying for the CFO, every time it is get rejected because we are not having the environmental fee paid receipt. We are not paying it, and why we know why we are not paying. So that is the only reason our CFO is not extended since 2020 onwards. It's not extended because of that.
I'll come to that. So second question from my side is, have you applied for the CFO?
Yes, many times. Every time we are applying, every time it gets rejected.
They have rejected it?
Yes.
They rejected.
Yes.
So now you see from last December 2024, there's a new system in the pollution control board implemented on request from our side. Now you can apply online, you can pay the fees first, then only the inspection starts. And you can also download the CFO. Okay? So you do this application again fresh. My suggestion is that only to apply fresh. If they rejected, they will show the reason why they are rejecting it. But definitely they cannot show the reason that environment compensation is not paid.
2 times it happened.
They may say orally, but they cannot say in writing.
It is written even.
So if it is in writing, please get in touch with our team. Okay, we'll take it up legally.
Sure. We have that in the download. When we take the screenshot, now also I can show you that screenshot. It is there. We have not paid the CFO.
Sure, that's great.
Not CFO, sorry, environment fine.
Okay.
The second point, just regarding the BWSSB water bill, because we have been struggling because of the 120 or 200% recent increase because of the commercial point added to the water. I think I would request BAF to take it further more seriously than what, because last 4 months we have been paying almost 100% more than the water bill, whatever we are paying till March. So I want at least BAF to should take it very aggressively to against the BWSSB and take it further. This is my suggestion.
Adequate water, yeah, got it. Thank you. The gentleman is green shirt.
No,
Can the people taking tea be a little quieter? Thank you.
yeah, sure. So, in fact, most probably the very recently joined member of BAF. See, the question that I wanted to ask, the gentleman already asked about BWSSB, the rates going double. I'm sure it is impacting all the apartments and their expenses. So what has been discussed, what's the stand of BAF on that is what I wanted to understand. The second question is on the common area or the corridor usage in the apartments. People are keeping all their shoe racks, cycles and all those things in the corridor. Is it legally allowed or what is it? That's a question that's happening in our apartment right now. So
Sure.
looking at what is BAF's stand on that.
Sure, I will answer those quickly and we take one final question and we conclude it. So to answer to your two parts,
Two
BWSP,
Two questions.
okay, the BWSP, we've already made a representation We are taking the legal steps on how we can challenge this in the courts and what we can do about the water tariff increase. The second part about lobbies, I think it's quite clear. The common areas are common areas. They are not for keeping private things, be it from fire safety point of view or any other point of view. So the association has a control in terms of that, right? So that if you need specific details, we can discuss. Quickly, the last, sir. It is, there are notifications available, right? So we can help you with that. So it's basic understanding is it's a common area. It's not your area, right?
Looking to the time constraint, we will have last questions. One will be this gentleman and followed will be the last question.
That's the end.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Good morning, I am Kumar Subramania from Greenelly Signature Apartment, Hulimavu, Bannerghat Road. This is regarding this BWSSB charges. So some members are already raised, but I want to know what exactly is going on. So take up. It is just generalized. Hello. See, for example, I will tell, in our apartment, they have told 25% of water consumed, Kaveri water, will be charged at commercial rate. So when they asked, they told, you have a gym, you have a party hall, you have got a swimming pool. But for none of these facilities are using Kaveri water. It's very clear. We have got borewell and tankers. So we are not using any one of, Kaveri water for these things. We have got a proof also. I want to know with respect to this, what we have done specifically, not in general, in specific terms. Can you tell?
I have no chance to respond to your question one by one.
Fine.
So what is the stand of BAF?
Yeah.
The stand of BAF is that it is absolutely not justified. It is a ridiculous increase. It is an unthought of, no application of mind in terms of doing the tariff this thing, because it discourages larger and larger apartments with higher tariff. Point number one. So we absolutely protest it.
Okay.
Step number one that has been done, right, is all members would have received a template of a letter called pay under protest, right? So you have all been advised, I hope you have seen that and you are doing that also in your apartment, is to pay the fee, but with a letter which says, I am paying under protest.
Okay.
Because tomorrow, if it is getting reversed or something is done, you have a legal claim to say, I paid under protest, so I should get refunded. So point number one, you are expected to pay under protest.
To whom you have to address that letter?
To your local BWSSB person only, basically, right? You follow the normal payment procedure, but pay under protest, which means you are registering your protest with that letter.
Okay.
So there is paperwork to show that I have paid under protest.
Fine.
Second is, BAF has given a unified representation to the chairman, which has been accepted, and protesting all the points that you have just mentioned.
Okay.
And what we believe is that he has also presented the representation and the protest of BAF in their last board meeting.
Okay.
Because they report to a board, it's Water Supply and Sewerage Board. So they have a board meeting. So at the board meeting, they have discussed this. What we understand informally, internally, we have not received any formal confirmation on that, is that there might be some reconsideration, right? In addition to that, the third step that we are doing is already there is a legal case preparation going on. I think the next team will brief you in very soon time saying that a legal case is getting ready to be filed in the court of law to challenge the tariff hike as well. So these are the three things which have already been done.
Sure. Thank you very much, Vikram. Last question.
Last question.
I just want to ask that whether we are engaging security people, housekeeping people, and plumbers, electricians, and everybody, but it is comes under Labor Act or any specific for apartments, because I have not seen anywhere in the apartments, whereas they have mentioned even this Agarbatti people also they are mentioned, but not apartment people.
So
whether we should follow the Labor Act or whatever you want.
We have taken a legal opinion.
Yeah.
Apartments do not come under Labor Law Act, Minimum Wages Act and all. It has been a pending action item on us that we will publish a document that will clarify this stand. So answer is
Please,
no.
please.
We don't have to follow Labor Laws, Minimum Wages Act.
Please clarify that thing.
Sure.
Huh?
Vishnu, I think we have already clarified in quite detail, rebutting point by point, and I have saved it in my laptop. I can forward it to this gentleman.
Sure.
We have already clarified it.
Ajay Mehrotra, Partha Kundu, Rajesh Agarwal, बैठो यार. टाइम हो गया. ಬನ್ನಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬನ್ನಿ. ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರೇ ವಿಕ್ರಮ್ ರೈ ಮೇಲೆ ಬನ್ನಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಲೇಟ್. Thanks a lot. We are running a little late. I hope we can cover up for that. Thank you for being patient, and I hope we have answered majority of the questions. Now with that, I would call for a resolution for that members of the BAF approving the annual report. Those who are in favor of approving the annual report of BAF, please raise your hand and say aye. Okay, I see at least majority of the hands. It is resolved and approved. Thank you very much. With that, I hand it over to Mr. Sundar Rajan, our treasurer, to talk about the financial statements, audited accounts, budget, etc. Over to you, Sundar. Please.
Once again, good morning to all of you.
You want the mic to be close?
No. So key highlights, we are an association of persons and our compliance requirements are extremely minimum. Come a little closer. So the first slide mentions about we are compliant or not on the tax and the related provisions. So we are compliant and we are up to date on our TDS filing of TDS returns, income tax returns, GST returns, everything. KSRA renewal of last year has been submitted, it is pending. Just a week back, I received a request from whoever has now become the officer there, saying that please submit
One moment.
submit all the other copies of all the governing council members who are members as of last year AGM. So we have just submitted that. We expect to get it in another 1 week. Beyond that, there is nothing much to discuss on that. And statutory auditors, we had changed at the request of some of the members that there must be a rotation. Last year we had appointed BK Runta and company. We will be continuing. They have also offered themselves for reappointment and we are recommending that they be appointed. There is no major issue on that. And that firm is very well experienced in the is it okay now? Okay, good. I thought for Vishnu, when he was very near the mic, it was a little echoing, so I thought I'll avoid that. Okay, so this is the main highlights of the finance function. Beyond that, we have been providing one-to-one consulting on GST matters and sometimes on income tax to several of the members, and it's been a very satisfying experience to provide consulting, and there have been apartments who have followed the suggestions and especially on GST availment and utilization and have benefited a lot. I'm very happy about that. And similarly, last year when several of the apartments got demand notices for income tax at the highest tax rate, marginal tax rate, we clarified to them, including BIF, we also got that same notice. And we clarified to them that this is a system issue and please refile. And I'm very happy that several of them have also got the refunds. Back to the full applicable slabs were applied. And it is just that we helped whatever was the position which is already there in the department. There is nothing new in that, but happy to be of help. These are all the small things where BIF, in addition to the big ones, we keep doing in the background. And my last term as an treasurer is coming to an end today. One point where I have a major misgiving or not having achieved is in the GST front. We tried our level best to increase from 7,500 to 15,000 the exemption limits. And everyone appreciated, including our Bangalore South MP. He said, why are you asking for an increase in limit? Let us go for total exemption. And we also consulted a Supreme Court lawyer for a constitutional writ who advised us saying that this will not help you because you will spend all your membership fees on this case. And once you get a favorable reply, the next day government will change the law itself. So he advised us strongly, don't go for that. But the sum and substance of all that, today we are still at the same place as what I started 4 years back with the 7,500 limit. And otherwise, all associations spending money on compliance matters relating to GST. Of course, the CAs who are advising must be happy about that. But definitely it is not a needed provision where the members put their money for common expenses and then pay tax on it and employ resources to manage the tax effects. Okay, now come to the financial position of Bangalore Apartment Federation. Before you look at the statement, I want to clarify on 2-3 points. The first point is Bangalore Apartment Federation is more similar to your apartment associations in that we estimate the expenditure. Based on that, we decide to charge for some membership fees, but then we, after almost 10 to 11 years, we increased the fees marginally last year. So our membership fees is designed in such a way that people find it useful to pay, and it's meant for basic expenditure like our IT expenditure, our salaries, whatever are the administrative expenses, and the main programs I think I should keep my hand here. And the main programs are funded by the sponsors. This is the way the structure, and last year substantially it has been similar. Now, one important change we made, which has impacted last year accounts, the membership fees. Earlier we used to raise invoices for all members on the rolls. That means whether the member is interested in paying or not, we used to raise invoices, pay GST, and after 1.5 years, before the September of the next financial year, also reverse the invoices to claim the GST back for members who have not paid. This is a very cumbersome process. So what we did was last year, we changed our process of invoicing to, it is also helped by some changes in our VIF system thanks to our vendor who is supporting the VIF portal, and also the fact that we are now moved to a better accounting package, Zoho. We raise pro forma invoices first, and the members will pay the fees, and once the fees is paid, we raise the invoices. That way we avoid wastage of cash on GST and no need to reverse it later. The system has worked well, but then your income accounted compared to the earlier year, the membership fee is only on the basis of what money has come in and not for all the employees, members. Therefore, there is a big gap between last year and year before last and the membership income. Second is the year before last, whatever we had raised invoices, around approximately 5 lakhs plus, we reversed it to claim the GST back in September 2024. So these two have impacted, so you will see a huge gap in the income. This is the main reason. But on a cash flow basis, that means the membership fees, what we collected versus what we spent, we are surplus, which will be very clear when you compare the cash flow balance. The cash balance has increased. Now, the point to be noted down here is, we as a sort of not-for-profit organization, we have to do several activities in the interest of our members, and therefore we will always project a picture that our expenditure will be more than our aimed income. Even today, when I present the budget, you will see a huge gap. Last year also we had a similar gap. That is the way it is, because unless we set high expectations, we will not live up to the expectations of all of you. And as Bangalore is growing more and more, we need to do more things. But we will try to find innovative way of doing things and still manage financially. Only request I have for all the members is, do not wait for us to call you, please make the payments. And that's the only point. Now I'll come to this.
So last year, annual membership fee on an actual received basis for the last financial year, it was 19 lakhs net. I'll explain the breakup later, as against 36 lakhs earlier. Then sponsorship income last year we had 19.95 lakhs as against 4 lakhs earlier year. The sponsorship effort put in by our GC members were so excellent, and also we conducted a BAF Hubba after marking the 10-year celebration. And the sponsors came forward wholesale, and we had such a fine collections. That has emboldened us to increase the budget for sponsorship this year to 30 lakhs from last year of 20. Interest income is a marginal income from our fixed deposits. Deposits are only with HDFC Bank, even though other banks might offer higher rate in the interest of safety. After all, it's our members' money. So we only deposit with HDFC Bank, and the other bank which we have banked with is State Bank. State Bank is a 0.25% less, so we don't go there but keep it with HDFC Bank. This is broadly on the income side. Then the expenses, we have 12 lakhs approximately on salaries. Last year we had, for part of the year, 3 employees, then the other person left. So therefore it is 12 lakhs. Depreciation is on the computers, and we have taken a new office, of course. It's a very minor amount for this year, financial year. Current year you will have a higher depreciation. Then the other expenses, 38 lakhs. So overall our expenditure is 51 lakhs including depreciation. This leads on a deficit of 11 lakhs. 11 lakhs is a book deficit, not a cash flow deficit. I'll come to why it is 11 lakhs in the next slide. Now this will give you the breakup for the income. If you see membership renewal, year before last we had 29.98 lakhs, whereas in this financial year we collected 25.95 lakhs. That difference of 4 lakhs, 4 to 5 lakhs shortfall is mainly because we reckon income only when collected, so to that extent it is lower. The year before was whatever we invoiced we shown as income, that's why it is higher. And then the new members 2.15 is included in 25.97. Then reversal of 23-24 unpaid renewals. We have reversed to the extent of 6.79 lakhs. This was mainly for getting the GST back. And the interest income is marginally higher. Beyond that, the number of members added, year before last was 75, this budget was 75, we added 83. In 24, we had 110 members. Broadly, this is what it is. Now, this is the balance sheet. The balance sheet, our capital consists of the 500 rupees which the members pay when they join. The first line members fund is made up of the total of all the 500 rupees which people have been paying right from the time BAF was started. The general fund is the excess of income over expenditure cumulatively right from beginning. So that is around 30 lakhs. So total member funds 36 lakhs. And then we have current liabilities. First is the trade payables. Trade payables are the bills which would have got paid in April. We have mainly two vendors for whom we pay monthly. One is for the website maintenance. The other one is for the marketing efforts. And these two are the main bills. Then we have office services, maintenance services from Manipal Center. These are all the amounts which is part of this 50. Then the other current liabilities, 12.61, includes the audit fees and GST payable, TDS payable, all of them. So the total current liabilities are around 13 lakhs. Most of them have got paid off in the current year. Then assets. Assets, we have fixed assets of 3 lakhs. There is an increase of around 2.25 lakhs last year, which was spent on the interiors for Manipal Center office in February 2025. Then current asset, trade receivables. Trade receivables is the membership fees due from members is 17.22 lakhs due. These are substantially for past years from 2022, 23, 23, 24. 24, 25 the amounts are not much because we changed the accounting, raising invoices based on collections. So to that extent the invoices have not been raised for people who have not yet paid. But we are following up. And the good part is, last year we raised pro forma invoices for, just 1 minute. We raised for 20.52 lakhs from 523 members for 24-25. These members were people who have paid up to 23-24. So we thought that they will pay for the current year also. Balance, we had to ask for 2-3 years payments. So out of the total 523 members whom we raised pro forma invoices, 477 members have paid. It's a fairly substantial, but not, I still have a lot of money to be collected. That 70 lakhs is still there, sir. If we don't collect, it will get written off. So that is the point. But what I am wanting to say is that the system which we changed over is working well. And I must add here one more thing. We have placed emphasis in BIF on going for heavy use of technology so that we don't keep adding manpower for back office work. Front office and dealing with our service objectives is good, but not for back office. And we have managed the increase with the existing systems and the changes in the BF portal, which is automatically ensuring that once the collection comes, the invoice is raised and the membership certificates are all automatically sent. Now people who don't get invoices and who keep asking are the people who would have paid for past years. Then that is not a part of the system because this started from 24-25, just a small clarification. Then cash and bank balances, our current balance is around 24.29 in March. Currently it is around the same thing, 25-26 lakhs now, against 20 earlier, which is what I meant. Overall, for an association of our size, where we don't receive money from outside, if our cash balance increase, that means we are in good shape. And that way we are in good shape. And there is enough money for the next year programs. Now you will see in the budget, based on this, we have projected a negative budget, like what Government of India used to do in the past. And the other current assets, 5 lakhs. There are two things. One is the TDS receivable, GST input credit, and so on. And we also have received income in advance from members. People have, last year we introduced a scheme by which members can pay for 3 years, and then we offered a 10% discount, mainly to help the members to pay and not to worry about every year to pay that small 5,000, 8,000 rupees. And for us also the cost of collection is lesser because we collect only once in 3 years, the effort is the same. And around 50 members adopted that scheme. We collected 5.59 lakhs and this 3 years, so it's not the average 10,000 is not the fees. And that 1 year income has been accounted, balance has been carried forward for the next 2 years. That is one. Similarly, some of the sponsors are paid for 12 months, mentioning specifically in the sponsorship agreement that it is for 12 months. Therefore, we have accounted for over the 12-month period. So to that extent, they are all sitting in the 12.61 other current liabilities. That money is sitting. Now coming to expenses, this is a breakup over the past. Broadly our expenses are administrative expenses are salaries, then IT infrastructure, professional fees. Professional fees is mainly substantially for the lawyers to carry on the cases which we have filed with various judicial forums. And here we have shown that separately 2.79 lakhs. Marketing media, which is primarily in the social media marketing, YouTube, Twitter, and so on. Then last year we, on the basis of request from all the members, we I wouldn't say we announced, but we went liberal on the cluster meetings and said that whoever spends money on a cluster meeting, the BIF, we will reimburse the expenses. To the extent, and several of the clusters innovatively wrote in sponsors and claimed very little from us, but some are not so fortunate, so they were not able to get in sponsors, they got it reimbursed by us. So that total expenditure and a couple of other meetings, boot camps and all together, we have spent 3.71 lakhs. And you can see that compared to the budget of 6 lakhs, we are 3.71 lakhs, and similarly, year before was 4.87, last year was 3.71. The reason is that the members got sponsors to pay for some of the expenses, which is why it is lower. And this is where I would say that once you empower the clusters, they find innovative ways of managing the member interests. Then other expenses, some of various things, office, stationery, office expenses, all. Then total, now this other events, 0.79, are the events which were not sponsored by anybody, which is our last year fire workshop we had, then the estate managers program. Some of the programs we don't find sponsors, still we go and spend that money and do it. That is this. Then comes the last line, which is the sponsor events. The total, last year we spent 15.96 lakhs for sponsored events, including the BAF Hubba and all. BAF Hubba actually, this 15.96 would have been 13.96, but for the fact that just 2 days before the Hubba heavy rains were forecast, so we had to hurriedly cover the entire venue with rainproof roofing and floor carpets. So we spent last minute 2 lakhs, so therefore the expenses have gone up. But the income is 20 lakhs, approximately we made around 4 lakhs on this surplus. This is the overall we spent last year, 50.88 lakhs compared to 31 lakhs the previous year. Our budget was last year 60 lakhs. So this is the thing. So we are not, just to say that we are not, we try to be as innovative as possible and get the best value for the money we spend and conduct as many programs as required, which you would have got an idea once we went through the Secretary's presentation in the first session. Last year, I think he must have finished his meeting much earlier than this year. That itself is an indication. This is just an academic point. We had opening 1293 members. Last year we removed 173 members because of non-payment of dues for up to 21-22, not the recent ones, the very past old ones. Then members added were 80. The total members as of March 1200. Then on 24th of May I prepared the statement, 7. After that we have had another 15 members joining us. Received, sorry. I think I've pasted the wrong slide. Sorry. No, the column is blank.
Sorry?
We had total of okay. As of 31st March, 31st July, I have taken as near as possible to the AGM. We had dues from 234 members for 15.81 lakhs. This is down from the 17 and odd lakhs which was on 31st March. So some monies have got corrected. And who all have to pay? Members with, there are 134 members with dues for 22-23 and 23-24, both years. For 9.89 lakhs, this is the biggest chunk. We are trying to reach out to them, but my confidence levels on correcting this 9.89 is not very high. Chances are very high that next year my succeeding treasurer will come to you and say that this needs to be written off, like we took it this year took a write-off. It will go on. And only thing is, after the pro forma invoice system came on 24-25 and we clean up the past, then you will have no more write-offs like this. But then we will come back with a list of saying that so many members have not paid. I think that continues in spite of the value being received. The biggest problem in collection is that members keep changing every year, the management committee members, the office bearers, and not all of them update in the VAF portal. So when we reach out, they say, I am no more in the office. Some of them are very nice to say that please talk to so and so, or they will forward the message to the succeeding office bearers. Some of them who have had problems with the succeeding teams will simply say, please go and talk to others. I am not in this anymore. That happens. So then members for 22-23 alone is 67 and 2.81 lakhs. Members for 23-24 not much. 24-25, 28 members for 89,000 rupees. And current year, there are 5 cases for 20,000. These are normal cases where you raise the invoice and they pay. In between, a month end has come. So they are showing as outstanding. So overall, 234, 15.81. Then there are old outstandings. No, correct. See, some members have 2 years outstandings. Some people have 1 year outstanding. After that, we have not even raised because they might have not responded. They would not have said, I am not interested, but they would not have responded. So when there is no response, then we wait to collect that first before raising the next invoice, because otherwise you end up paying GST for that also. And waste our membership fees collected only on GST. So that's the reason. The another point which is of concern to us is that right from the time BIF started, we have some 2.02 lakhs old balances, mainly from various sponsors. We don't know why it is pending. Ideally, I should have written them off. I have not done that. That is, I am leaving it to the succeeding treasurer to write off. Maybe I will pass the entries now before handing over. But these are all monies which should not come. They are all fairly 5 years to 7 years. I have done a full research on all this. It starts from the 2017-18 Bamboo's function onwards. And this is the broad breakup. Finish the budget also, because that's more important for the succeeding team to operate. After that, we'll take issues. Okay, please.
The issue is that there are a lot of members who have now expressed interest in coming back to back. Now, suppose we take them in, if they have already been removed for non-payment, if they want to come back, will they be treated as new members or do they have to pay over?
We are saying that they have to pay for current year plus 2 past years. If they have more than 2 past years, we will waive the earlier periods, but they have to pay for 2 past years at least. The reason is, if I simply waive that, it is an injustice for all of you guys who have paid.
Essentially, it's for 3 years they'll have to pay, they have to come back.
3 years, current year plus 2 more years.
2 years, then
in fact, I have received a lot of requests from people saying that I will pay from this year, previous another MC was there, they have not paid, I cannot take responsibility, all the stories.
So that won't work.
But if we want to take the stand, all of us here have to approve and pass a resolution.
Okay.
That members who have been disqualified can come back by paying only from the year of their joining. That's a resolution we have to pass.
Why don't
if all of you agree, we can do. But I don't think it is fair. No, I know that. I'm just telling you, being open. I as a treasurer will not support such a resolution because it's not fair more than anything else, because all of you have paid. Okay. But that is the position. If you ask as a cluster head, because we are also, there are people who are the cluster heads who interact with the people. So the answer is that you have to pay for 2 years plus
1 year. Okay.
But like for example, this year, this is 25-26. So 23-24 and 24-25 you pay.
Yeah.
Up to 22-23, whatever is there, we'll write off.
We'll write off. Okay. Thank you.
Any queries on the membership fees? Let me also tell you, for people who speak to other associate members, our membership fee was raised only last year. From 2013, when the association was, federation was formed, we have not increased the fees, and we have marginally rounded off to the nearest next to 500 to only in the numbers where the apartments have more than 2,500, we have increased by 1,000 rupees. If you calculate on a per apartment per month basis, the amount is extremely small. And we should also tell members who ask a question, what value I get. The value you get is by participating in the WhatsApp group, watching the discussions and putting your questions there. Like for example, in my own case, I wanted to put a boom barrier. So I didn't go to any catalog or anything, I just put it in the BIF group that I am looking for a boom barrier, any good experiences, please share. Immediately 4 people responded saying that these are the good ones, I have got all this experience. We bought one. We had a swimming pool, that water pump deep inside the earth. For some reason, Shobha had constructed that way. We wanted to change it and put it up somewhere else. Then similarly, I put a message. I got some 4 recommendations, talked to all the 4, then finally got one choice vendor to do it. They came up with an elegant solution and beautifully it was done at a very, very low cost without needing to dig up anywhere. This is the power of BIF. Leave alone clarifications on BWSSB, BESCOM, income tax, GST, those are all there. But beyond that also you have a lot of value. That's what we must tell the members when they pay for the membership fees.
Hello. Currently, the membership fees are from the association, right? In countries like UK, Germany, US, in the professional organization, which I believe this is also a professional organization, can we extend that professional fees for individual apartment with a lower amount of fee that will attract?
Lowest is 1,200 rupees.
No sir, that is for apartment. That I understand. How can we extend that membership fee to the individual apartment owners? Individual house.
Individual apartment within a complex.
Yeah. Individual houses. See, membership drive.
I think that's against the objective of the BIF, Bangalore Apartment Federation.
Correct. But
if villas are covered, but again as a group.
Understand, sir. This will help increase the flow of our also. Correct. Member who are not necessarily be part of the management committee, but they can have access to the library information, and they are member also for the BAF. As a suggestion only. Thank you.
No.
Okay, next I go on to the budget.
Sundar, I think it's a good suggestion, but sir, I don't think so. Organizationally, we are at a stage to take that leap of faith as yet, because if you look at today, if you look at paying stakeholders, right, about 1,000 odd associations that we deal with who have to pay, right, and there's an effort which goes on collection, etc., and all that kind of stuff. I think we are not yet mature yet. It has to overcome so many other, even today, Sundar and his team have to reach out individually, and the reason is because there's a high churn of committee members itself in the association. Every year when the association changes, you have to reach out to new people. You have to start from the first question of saying, what is BAF, why, etc. and all that. So there's a lot of churn because of that reason. If we expand that problem statement to thousands of more individual households, that effort gets magnified in the same or higher proportion. I don't think so the preparedness is yet there, but having said that, I think that's a good idea to create one more pool of value where for individual household, because a lot of things that we do also is relevant to, like this e-khata example itself that I'm taking about. It is not the association which is paying the property tax, it's individual household owners who are paying property tax, and e-khata applies to them. So what kinds of advisory, what kinds of models, frameworks that we build for them is applicable to an individual property owner. So there is definitely value there also. How do we structure it, and then how the transaction happens? Is there a fee or not? Is it free? For example, one alternative theory should be to make it open and free for, it's a freemium model, right? Where all individual householders also become member of a certain type, but you completely do away with the effort of collecting fee from them.
right? And you can sort of subsidize that and I can sort of manage that in some other manner. So all those are possible, but I don't think so at this point of time. I mean, it's for the new team to sort of maybe debate in that direction. But at least as of this year, we felt that, to drive more engagement amongst members who are already part of the membership, in my mind, them paying a renewal fee is the most definitive way of them saying that, I have value with this federation and hence I am paying a renewal fee. That is the single indicator to say whether we have engagement or not with the associations itself. I think we have to deepen that more and more. The numbers which Sundar has sort of presented of so many number of people not yet paid, being considered for deletion, etc. is a reminder of that. I'm glad to hear from him also to say there are many more people who will want to come to pay, but we have to improve that renewal rate to at least 85% or more, 90% or more, to clearly showcase that members see value. Right? And of course focus on new member onboarding. That requires a completely different effort, etc. I think in the future it will definitely be a good idea to consider.
There is one more problem. Actually, if individual houses are, we collect member, in one apartment, 30% maybe with some other Bangalore apartment federation, then another 40% maybe some. There are 2-3 other organizations which are acting like Bangalore apartment federation. So within an apartment, people will be members of the different associations. That will be a practical problem. That is also to be looked into.
So I am Sukesh from Marathali, in Abha Apartment Association. So I have been a part of this BAP for a long time, right, from the Srikant Narasimha's time. So it has been, always we have been doing a great job. But like the challenge, most of the time what happens is when committees are getting changed, like Vishnu mentioned, when there is a problem only presence will be felt, right? So can we, I don't know whether it is thought in that direction, can we have a lifetime membership kind of thing where you don't have to, every committee don't have to just offload this BAF, why it is important, what help we have got. No? Maybe the little reduce, make it little more attractive, maybe for the new committee, governing council. There's a lifetime membership in many associations. So that if you have, first of all, you can reduce this logistics of follow-up and all. And you don't have to offload this information every time to the new committee. Maybe that is a suggestion only.
Sure, good suggestion. Thank you.
Just as you may want to tell that the 3-year thing has already been. Sukesh, as a step towards that, just as an add-on, maybe Sundar should have mentioned that as well. This year already, for people who are paying for 3 years, there is some incentive which has been introduced to waive off some percentage of the membership fee. That was one. We had debated that in the past also to say, can a lifetime membership be introduced or not. We felt that it requires a more deeper and better debate. Hopefully again the new team can think about it and come up with a proposal to say, hey, we will probably consider something like annual also. But at least in the last year, one of the steps was to provide an incentive to people who can at least commit for, because then it reduces collection effort, as you rightly said, that much. And a lot of people have taken it.
And thanks, Vikram, because in our case we opted that 3 years already. So the challenge is that many associations don't intentionally delay it. Correct. See, it is just a miss. So in our case it has happened. There was a follow-up from Ashwini, Rama and all. So still it is a little difficult because 3 years for during STP time we have benefited that. Now many people, there are no problems, Kata is gone. So we are comfortable, no issues. Only for these fun events they can coordinate. So that is why if that is possible then with a lesser membership, still I believe that will be a better thing to have.
No, absolutely. Point taken. I think at least I have realized that it is not the members, we can't blame the members, right? So many different things, so many different priorities, so many distractions, and members tend to respond only when there is an issue or a problem, right? So we are a problem-centric society. When some problem happens, you want somebody to help to solve it for that. Other times nobody will ask you.
But that should not be taken as a reason not to deliver value. Value is always being shared, right? Value is being shared in one vendor reference that you are able to pick up. Value is being shared in the white paper that is very useful for you at that point, etc. So, but I think from the federation's point of view, we have to make it more and more easy for people to catch that value when they need it. That opportunity can be.
No, Vikram, I think elaborating on the point the gentleman made, in every apartment you will find one or two people like him, me, who will continue in the MC, may not be officially, but we will be there. Okay? So we can be a link to the BAM.
No, sir. Just to clarify, today,
yes,
many of you might have seen also in the official database, which is qualified membership. There's a president, there's a secretary, there's a treasurer, and there's an authorized representative also which gets collected. One of the intentions, thinking behind was also to say if associations want to nominate somebody who is continuing irrespective of the president, secretary, treasurer, that fourth authorized representative option perhaps is a good way for, and there are quite a number of members who have nominated somebody through a AGM resolution for 2 years, 3 years. You please be the BAF representative. Are you one of that? Are you? See, he's a.
I'm also one of
authorized representative. He's a representative.
Yeah, and
So,
I will continue till I develop dementia.
so that is the intention. And if people didn't know, that's probably something that people can take advantage of. Okay.
So this is the budget for next financial year, and I have the pleasure of making the budget, but the implementing that will go to the next treasurer, whoever it is. And so we are projecting a income membership fee and sponsorship membership fee of 38.61 plus under interest. Then sponsorship of 30 lakhs from the last year 20 lakhs is gone up. Okay, you have the last year figures there. And expenses from 42.68 lakhs of last year, we have last year budget, not actuals. The reason is actuals for some reason would have been lower, but our dream last year was to conduct programs which would cost so much. So I have kept that as a comparison base, and we are saying this year our target plans for various programs. I will give you the breakup in the next slide. It's 63 lakhs, leading to a net deficit on a general business of 24.82 and sponsorship surplus of 7.4. So net excess of expenditure over income for next year plan itself is 17 lakhs negative. Now, why can we manage this 17 lakhs? Let's go to the next part of the slide where we have the income breakup. Membership fees is 35 lakhs. New members for 80, we assumed around 80 members will come, average of 4,000 rupees fees, 2.71. Then sponsorship 30. Then interest income of 0.75. Total is 38.61. That's the breakup. Now this 35.15 is after some reduction for write-offs. I have taken around 7 to 8 lakhs of write-off. Now, what are the expenditure for the 86 lakhs being budgeted? Because this, the sponsorship is 22 lakhs, expenditure for conducting the events for which we will receive sponsorship of 30 lakhs. That is one big chunk. Then salaries, we are providing for additional one person plus 4 to 5 interns. Last year we took 3 interns for 3 months and the experience was good, very the teams felt very good to employ good quality interns for short duration assignments. So we are this year increasing that 3 to 6. That is also inside that. IT infrastructure 8.45. IT infrastructure consists of one is our website maintenance, some program enhancements, then subscription to our Google suite, then Zoho we are having a license, and a couple of other things like Zoom and all. That's the main thing. And office rent, this year it's a big ticket. Last year was only for 2 months. Balance was a virtual office in HSR level. Now we have given up the virtual office from May. And this year we'll pay full rent, that is 35,000 per year, plus after 12 months from February, the increases by 5%. That's the expenditure. Then member engagement and marketing media. This is 9 lakhs. That's for all the social media marketing. And then meetings, AGM, STM, in case we have STM. Then executive council, governing council, cluster meetings and the other member engagements. Together we have budgeted around 5 lakhs. Last year budget was 4.5. Actuals was lower because of the sponsorships which some of the clusters had managed. But this is without assuming too much of sponsorship, we are saying that we'll spend 5 lakhs. And other events and expenses 1.78. This is broadly the expenditure. Now, the biggest item in this is the professional and legal fees, 13 lakhs. There is an element of estimation, and it also depends that the cases must fructify enough for us to incur the legal fees. It's possible that it may not happen also. And most of the expenditure is also such that if we don't collect so much of fees, we will also, there is scope for tightening the belt and not spend so much. It's not that we'll just open up the purse and spend the entire amount. That's the way it is. Which is why last year also compared to the budget, our actual expenditure also was lower. There is a fairly prudent management of finances. The same trend will continue. So this covers the budget. Now open to questions. Q&A for.
Hello, there is a suggestion. There is a mix-up of column, that breakup, which is breakup and which is no, there is a confusion here. Also in the first slide, no, because budget was mentioned and full financial year 24-25, you can say you go to the first slide, no, there is a confusion over the budget for which year.
The first slide?
First slide of that budget and you mentioned budget, no? Yeah, approval is okay. Next slide is there.
Next up.
Orange color slide, no? Okay, here it is. Okay. Itself, no, there is a breakup and a sum. There is a breakup of column. See, for example, 6344, the breakup is 1984, like that. And that will add up to.
No. 63 plus 22 is 86.
No, breakup for 63, no breakup for 63.
No, that 86 is the common total for both the columns.
No, I'm talking about 63, 44. Correct?
That's a decimal.
No,
63 plus 22 is plus.
Put 60.
Sir, he is asking for the breakup of 63.44 lakhs.
Okay, then it should be a little right side. Normally, breakup will be given either, there will be some shift in column actually, standard practice.
No.
A typical chartered account, how will give. So it will be always better. Okay, for summation will be on right hand side, breakup will be on left hand side. This is standard format where how a chartered account shows or gives. And next, okay, that 63, if you shift to right side, 63, then 22.6 will come to 86, right? Yeah, and this is one thing. And
this 50.89 is not centered. It's okay.
No, see what happened, no, it immediately you can catch actually what it
take
is.
your point. Okay.
Yeah, and if you go to that first slide of this one, go back, that orange color slide. Okay, appointment before that. Only orange color slide is there, no, before this. Before this slide. Approval is there, no? Approval.
Which one?
Approval of budget. Orange color. Orange color slide. Slide. Heading. Reverse. Heading.
Go back to orange color slide.
Orange color slide.
Approval of budget for 25-26. So if you everywhere now, if you write like the financial and next to this one also, it is financial 25, it is there 24, and previous slide there is no clarity about the financial year.
Resolution correctly mentions 25-26.
No, here. See,
okay, sir.
And in so many slides, no, full financial year is not mentioned, 24, 25. It's only 25 is written, 25, 25.
Understood.
Yeah, yeah. So if you
I
write...
will provide the feedback to the next person.
Okay, okay, thank you.
So these are the resolutions I want to pass. In case queries, feel free to stop me. One is the first resolution. Members here unanimously approve the audit report of the accounts for the year ended 25. I'll change it. Actually, I think. No, plug it back. Plug it back. Resolved that the members of the BAF unanimously approve and adopted the audit report for the accounts for the year ended 31st March 2025. Thank you. Further resolved that the members of the Bangalore Apartments Federation unanimously approve the budget for the financial year 25-26. Further resolved that the members of the Bangalore Apartment Federation unanimously approve the appointment of auditor results PK Runta and Company for the financial year 25-26. I understand, but what happens, we normally leave it to the next year team to discuss with them the fees. That was the logic. 25,000 becomes 28,000. Very small amount. Last year this point was raised and the members agreed that they will allow me the freedom to negotiate the fee for this because they were new in the system. We just followed the same practice. It will more or less move to 27,500 to 30,000. That's all. Further resolved that the members of the Bangalore Apartment Federation unanimously approved that the Governing Council is authorized to file AGM minutes and other relevant documents with the Registrar of Societies. We have taken a wider audience depending on whoever is available for the signature. But normally the filing is done by the Treasurer.
Before we jump to the election, so I would, with the permission of the chair, I would like to quickly insert one important agenda, which is the felicitation of our partners, key partner organizations who are here, who have been very crucial for our success in designing and delivery of several of the programs. So with that, I would like to call upon President Vikram Rai to, or Sandhya or Srivindya.
Hello. Yeah, as we come to the end of the term, it gives us all immense pleasure to welcome to this special partner felicitation ceremony. So today we celebrate our, all our partners' contributions, which has helped, play a pivotal role in driving some of our most impactful initiatives. So we'll start off with first we recognize the impactful RERI IAMB collaboration, a pioneering partnership between BAF and the Real Estate Research Initiative at IIM Bangalore. Together, we have successfully delivered Apartment Governance Essentials Certification Program designed to equip management committees with the knowledge and skills needed for effective community governance, which has benefited 25 MC members. So, special thanks to Professor Venkatesh Panchapagesan, Mr. Satish Menon, Professor Rajagopalan and Mr. Gautam Kamath. And we also had the treated used water grade to green policy workshop which was attended by 60 plus partners including CREDAI at the IMB campus. We also had a GST masterclass. We had 50 plus MC members attending. So I request Mr. Venki, Satish, if Gautam to please come over. Yeah.
Just from Professor, why don't you come here? No, please. So Professor Venkatesh Panchabakeshan is the chairperson of the Real Estate Research Institute, which is a specialized research institute in the IIM Bangalore. So he's been very instrumental in almost a year of discussions with the BAF team to conceptualize the Apartment Governance Essentials program, which got launched. We mentioned about it multiple times. And from BAF side, we were able to nominate 3 subject matter experts, as we called it. One, Mr. Satish Menon. Then there is also Professor Rajagopalan from L&T South City and Gautam Kamath from Liberty Square, who came in as experts, and they were the ones who took classes. So there were 4 weekends, Sundays, where a group of almost about 25 participants came onto campus and participated, and at the end of the course, they got a certificate done. So it is, we are hoping that, this will grow more and more. There's one more batch which will come up in November. So please, whoever, it's the first time that you're hearing about, please go back and also mention this to your own committee members, whoever is interested in coming. But thank you so much, Professor Venki and Satish. Professor Raja and Gautam could not be over here, but we thank them in absentia for also contributing so much. Of course, Satish also anchored the GST masterclass, which happened later. Of course, we had a few other guests as well who joined in that day, but thank you, Satish, for the courtesy, and hopefully we'll get a lot more of you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we'll go forward with our successful Kannada program, as we had spoken about earlier. Makaranda volunteer team. With their support, 9,000 residents have learned Kannada across 3 sold-out batches offered free to all BAF members. I request Makaranda team to come on stage, please. Yeah. So our fire safety initiative program, our collaboration with Beyond Carlton, we had a powerful fire safety initiative program promoting awareness, preparedness, and policy change to make living spaces safer. Thanks to Ms. Cheryl Rebello, our joint training at the Karnataka Fire Safety Academy, equipped 300 plus MC members and estate managers with life-saving skills, helping prevent potential fire accidents in all our communities. I request Ms. Cheryl Rebello to please come.
Please.
Hello friends, I already introduced CEO of Beyond Cotton, and today we are signing an MOU and that will be given to her. Already it has been signed by our president as well as by me as a witness and resource person, and we will be handing over to Cyril Madam. So the MOU is signed for 2 years. Thank you.
Just a quick note, I mean, almost 2 years back, I think a conversation with Cheryl started where the idea was that if you can equip the estate managers of the associations with essential fire fighting as well as life safety skills, because they are the frontline employees in most of the association. So that's how it originated as an idea, and we said let's try it out, but it has grown from strength to strength. Almost every 3 months we have one batch. 250 estate managers have now been trained across the city of Bangalore now, and we believe that they have gone back to also then educate more of other staff, etc., in their own apartment. So thank you, Cheryl, for the...
Maybe I'll say a few words of, many words of thanks to the BAF with the leadership of Vikram, Zamir, who started off the program, and Professor Lakshman, Vidya, and so many more who back up this program. But I think the most wonderful thing is aggregating value across the city, which I think BAF is doing a remarkable job, and I'm sure the next team is going to take over that. And being able to see, it's wonderful also to see partnerships being celebrated, because I think no one can do it alone. And everyone feels on the other side that somebody can do it better, you know, but it's never an individual. It's always teams, it's always collaboration. So it's great to see collaboration being celebrated. And I think the value that we got from this partnership has been demonstrated in the number of people who we have trained for safety, and particularly for fire safety. So thanks for prioritizing this among communities. Thanks very much.
And I must quickly mention that this also, there is a collaboration with the fire department. While earlier during the day, there was a lot of complaints and challenges that we are dealing with. But at the same time, I think also it is important to demonstrate our ability to collaborate with the same team as well, right? So at one end, the fire department, there's a Mundkur Academy on Banerghatta Road where they have given us the facility free of cost to conduct this training program, as well as a trainer from the fire department who participates in the fire training program. So I should thank them also on that part for coming and collaborating with us. Right? Thank you so much.
Now I will like to call Mr. Harish Sivaraman, our election officer. Election officer for...
So I've already responded also to your formal communication, formally as well, saying that the formation of clusters, I mean, just for everybody's clarification also, is governed by a certain number of administrative decisions, including number of apartments in a geographical proximity. We try to match that as much as possible to the ward boundaries which are there, because then whatever you then do, then there has to be also an administrative relevance to the local governance of that place. So ward boundaries then become the fundamental building blocks of that. And the number of apartments which can be part of the cluster itself. At this moment, if I remember correctly, I think there is something called BF Koramangala. It is officially called Koramangala cluster, right? But it has a whole number of wards which are part of it. About 8 wards which are part of that cluster. I think around 35 apartments are part of that cluster, right? So I think it might be a good idea to raise that request with a new team for them to consider. And by the way, cluster formation keeps happening continuously. 4 years back there were 20 clusters, there were now 27 or 28 clusters. So I think if there's a genuine request for looking at a particular group of apartments in the nature of a cluster, I think that should be placed to the next team.
Pause.
Okay. Venki? I hope I've answered your question as well. Right? I would like to invite Professor Venki to speak a little bit of words on the program, and if you can also speak about how we are looking at it in the future, that might be useful.
Okay, thank you, Vikram. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm also an apartment owner, and so I'm also part of the... Sorry? Exactly. Here I said. It's okay. I think the origin of this initiative came sometime when I saw firsthand with my own apartment how knowledge gets lost, and a lot of times people are not doing the right thing because they don't either know how to do it, or there are other issues in the execution of this. So we thought, Vikram and I, some couple of events together at IIM campus. So that's how this program started. Was how do I evangelize the knowledge that is already being accumulated at different apartments. People like Satish, subject matter experts, who have been there, done that, and they're able to quickly get most people up to speed. So this is also one, and it's a building capacity program, because one of the things that scares people is how do I become a management committee and deal with all of these issues. So one aspect of the program was to ensure that, look, we are there to back you, we will train you, and most importantly, we will connect you with a larger network of people who can support you. So therefore, it should encourage more people to come into the program. So that's the first order sort of outcome of this program, which is just knowledge transferring from people who know it or been there or done that, and to new people. But the bigger thing is, we saw that recently with the way government plays around with apartments. I think at the core of this is, can we create a civic body which can take on the government, take on other stakeholders in a significant way. Again, IIM is a long-term, we have a long-term interest in this. We have a Center for Public Policy. I head a center in real estate. So this is an opportunity for us to bring other stakeholders into the mix as well. Like I do a program with the builders community, with CREDAI. So it's very easy for me to bring a lot of developers into the discussion. Similarly, we work with the governments quite closely. So that's another opportunity. So is there a way in which apartments can voice their concerns in a safe space within an academic setup where we could get the right people from the other important that you will have to deal with. So this is the larger thing. Can we create a voice in a way that we can influence policy and influence corporate decisions in our favor? I wouldn't say in our favor, it is more doing the right thing for the both for the apartment owners as well as for the city as a whole. So that is the larger goal. I'm hoping more and more people join this network, and I've seen a couple of our classmates already, Nima, Krishna, and so I think the point is, how do we use this network to build something that will help us deal with all these policy changes, and also some dealing with the developers and so on. Okay, so I thank BAF and the Governing Council for giving this opportunity to work together. I'm hoping this is that, we are in for the long haul, and I'm hoping BAF, new council, will also join us in creating more and more such initiatives. Okay, thank you so much, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of you on campus.
Yeah, as Venkat shared, I'm one of you. Spent the initial 3-4 years fighting with the builder. After 12 years, continue to fight with the builder. was the founding president who actually, many of my colleagues in the apartment says this guy refuses to leave the BOM. So I've been part of the BOM, been part of the advisory committee, have been abused, have been charge sheeted, criminal cases filed, tax demands there, legal cases are being fought. All these is what I thought, these experiences what I've been sharing with a group of people. I see about 8 or 9 people who attended the program here, and I still interact with them on a daily basis or at least once in a week to 10 days when they raise issues. So this is part of my giving back to the society as part of my professional career. Otherwise, I spend my time on more of corporate governance and handling mergers and acquisitions for companies. And me and Sundar go back to almost 4 decades. We were colleagues in Wipro 40 years back. We also have another ex-Wiproite, Ganesh is here, sitting here. So we've all worked together for a long time. So that's the reason why we thought, when Sundar invited me, I didn't know what I was getting into. But today I feel happy that I'm able to at least share my experiences and whatever I'm able to do with others who are having a similar problem. So look forward for everybody's participation in the next session, which I think we are targeting in November. It's on over 4 Sundays on a morning. Based on my experience over the last March and April, every person came in at 9 o'clock and was there till 5:36 in the evening over 4 Sundays, despite one of the Sundays being a holiday for a festival. I think that's great commitment once again to all of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Satish.
So I would like to call Mr. Venkatesh from Makaranda, who is behind training 9,000 residents of Bangalore Apartment Federation on Kannada speaking. He was little late, so we would like to request him to come on stage, please.
The challenge with the ಕಷ್ಟದ ಕೆಲಸ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತಾಡಿಸ್ತಾರೆ.
He has 40 teachers, those who are volunteering the Kannada language speaking to the public. Thank you, Mr. Venkatesh from the BAF.
ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ್ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಸ್ಪಾಟ್ಲೈಟ್ ಬೀಳ್ಬೇಕಂತ ಅವರು ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾಚ್ಕೋತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ಸೊ
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ಜೋರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿ. ಹಸಿವೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅನಿಸುತ್ತೆ. ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ BF ತಂಡದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪದಾಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಹಾಗೂ ಎಲ್ಲ ಸದಸ್ಯರಿಗೂ ನನ್ನ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ಹಾಗೂ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈ ಮುಂದಿನ BF ಏನು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ತಾವೆಲ್ಲ ಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿ ಒಳ್ಳೆಯ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಆಸಕ್ತಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೀರಾ. ನಿಮಗೂ ಸಹ ಅಭಿನಂದನೆಗಳು. ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, ಮಕರಂದ ತಂಡ BF ಸಹಭಾಗಿತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನರ್ಶಿಪ್ ವಿತ್ BF ನಾವೊಂದು ಚಿಕ್ಕ ಅಳಿಲು ಸೇವೆ, ಎ ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ವಿ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಟು ದ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆವೆಲ್. ನಮ್ಮ ಮಕರಂದ ವಿ ಸೇ ದಟ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಟು ಎವ್ರಿ ಹಾರ್ಟ್ and home. We are trying with BF support. I think ಅದು ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ. ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದು ಸನ್ಮಾನ, ಈ ಭಾಷಣ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಅವರು ಒಂದು ನಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲಿನ ಪ್ರೀತಿಯಿಂದ ವಿಕ್ರಮ್ ಮತ್ತು BF ತಂಡ ನಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಕರೆಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಈ ಮಾತುಗಳಾಗಲಿ, ಈ ಸನ್ಮಾನ ಆಗಲಿ, ಈ ಪ್ರಶಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕೆಲಸಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವುದೇ ಧಕ್ಕೆ ತರಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಆಲ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೇಟ್ ಎನಿ ಈಗೋ ಫೀಲಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಅವರ್ ಹಾರ್ಟ್. ಸೊ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಅವರ್ ವಿಷನ್ ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇನ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಾನ್ವೊಕೇಶನ್ we said clearly we want to preserve the local languages of our India. So we want to really live the feeling of unity in diversity by preserving the local languages of every state. every state. Today, we are starting with Canada, but tomorrow we want to reach Andhra, Maharashtra, Kashmir, Bengal, everything, because you already know what is happening. And our Western culture has already taken dominance over everything, our daily livings, culture, everything. So we want to live our culture. We want to be like us. We ourselves, we have to be recognized as, I am a Kannadiga, I am a Telugu, I am a Marathi, like that. Tomorrow that will vanish. So we are working on that and we are very happy. You can see our faces. We are very happy, there is no stress. We have a great pleasure working with BF, and I really thank all the members of BAF, wholeheartedly, and all of you for your continued support, and all the best to all the dignitaries and whoever getting elected, I don't know. So whoever is getting elected, and all the best for your next ventures. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Venkatesh.
Next is, I want to call Mr. Umesh Mirji and Vinayak Reddy. With BAF and Hopcoms together, we brought mango and vegetable melas together around 250 apartments in last 2 years, which has generated almost 1 crore revenue to Hopcoms and in turn directly to the farmers. So congratulations, Hopcoms team.
Again, as mentioned, Hopcoms, we have sort of grown to work with them. They obviously represent many, many farmers across the state as a collective. So very happy to know that this time recent Mango Mela that they did, I mean, as we mentioned earlier, also generated good surplus revenue for Hopcoms, and that means for the farmers. So we are very glad to take this collaboration forward. Mirji ಅವರು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದೆರಡು ಮಾತಿದ್ರೆ.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನಾನು ಮುಖ್ಯವಾಗಿ ಬೇಪ್ನಿಂದ ಹಾಪ್ಕಾಮ್ಸ್ ಭಾಳ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ಗಳಿಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಆಗಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಹಾಪ್ಕಾಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದೆ, ಏನು ಹಾಪ್ಕಾಮ್ಸ್ದ ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟಿವ್ಸ್ ಏನು, ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಆಯಿತು. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.
Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Thanks to all partners, and that concludes our 11th annual general body meeting. One big round of applause to everyone. So, my last act as General Secretary of BAF and Governing Council member, calling the last agenda item of the day. Once the AGM is over now, I call Mr. Harish Sivaraman, who is the election officer or returning officer, and to resume the proceedings for the elections for the Executive Council and Governing Council. Both processes will run in parallel, lunch as well as elections, because there are a lot of voters who want to vote. So please be a little bit patient with respect to putting in the ballot and thinking for some time, selecting candidates, etc. So just stating the process, but with that I hand it over to Mr. Harish, the election officer. Over to you, sir. I have nothing to say.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So it's the time for elections for the Bangalore Apartment Federation for the term 2025-2027. And there are two levels of elections that we have. One is Governing Council and another is Executive Council. So Executive Council, nothing but it's a combination of Governing Council members and the cluster president and secretary of each cluster. And we have about 30 odd clusters across Bangalore.
Can I request everybody to first settle down? Just sit down. At least listen to the instructions. Once the voting starts, you can please go for lunch. Can we do that? At least you listen to what election officer is saying. How can you vote? What is the process? Can I request everyone?
So we have about 30 odd clusters across Bangalore, and but the nominations that we received is not for all the clusters. A few clusters we have received the nomination. I'll call the names of the candidates and the cluster. Candidates can come over here. So it's from JP Nagar cluster first. B. Jayaprakash filed the nomination for cluster president role. And Mr. Rajesh Agarwal as cluster secretary. So we received only one nomination for each post. So please. So this is Mr. Rajesh and this is Mr. Jayaprakash. So we received only one nomination for each post, and hence these both are elected unopposed. So next is Bangalore South cluster. We received nomination from Nitin MR for cluster president post and Smaran Modabdri for cluster secretary post. Can I request them, both of them, they come on the stage? Not there? Okay. So we received one nomination each for the president and secretary post, so they also elected unopposed. So we received nomination for Koramangala cluster president post, Ms. Ledasri. Okay, so we received only one nomination there also, so she also elected unopposed. From Jayanagar and Banashangiri cluster, we received one nomination for cluster president role, that is Krishna B. Marianga. And for secretary post, Sumant Shetty. So they both are elected unopposed. From RR Nagar cluster, we received nomination for the president role, Mr. Chandrasekhar Krishnappa, and for the secretary role, Shivakumar Shankar. So since we have received only one nomination for each position, they are also elected unopposed. And for the Yelahanka cluster, we received for the nomination for cluster secretary role, Rajat Anand is available here. So here's Mr. Rajat Anand. Yeah. So this is the only one. So this is the only one nomination we received from Yelahanka. So he also elected unopposed. From AECS layout and Kundalahalli, we received nomination from Nitesh Kumar for the role of cluster president. So we received only one nomination for this role, so he also elected unopposed. Thank you. So rest of the clusters is that we did not receive any nomination, so it will be filled as per the the process of filling of vacancies taken up by the governing council and remaining executive council at the later stage. So now I'll call for the candidates for governing council. We have 21 positions for governing council, including one position for each for president, general secretary, treasurer, vice president and joint secretary, and 16 positions for GC member role. So I call the candidates. Nomination filed for the president of BAF, Satish Chandra B. Malia. For the role of general secretary, K. Arun Kumar. For the role of treasurer, Kiran Hebbar. For the role of vice president, Pradeep Pai A. For the role of joint secretary, Valli Srinivasan. And for the role of GC member, N. Siddhartha Shetty. Come on. Please come, please come. For the role of GC member, Mahadev Murthy HM. No. For the role of Ramesh, Governing Council member, Ramesh Padmanabhan. Pavan Bharadwaj for Governing Council member. LBA Prasad for Governing Council member. Sujata G for Governing Council member. Ajay Mahrotra, Governing Council member. Kishore Buttukuri, Governing Council member. Avinash HP, Governing Council member. Muthukumar Ramamurthy, Governing Council member. Satish Kumar G, Governing Council member. Vishwa Venkata Reddy, Governing Council member. Chandrasekhar HM, Governing Council member. Partha Kundu, Governing Council member. S. Lakshman, Governing Council member. Rajesh Ramamurthy, Governing Council member. Hemant Pai, Governing Council member. So here we have nomination for president, post of president. We received only one nomination. That is Sadish Chandra B. Malia. He elected unopposed. We received only one nomination for the role of General Secretary, that is K. Arun Kumar. He also elected unopposed. We received only one nomination for the role of Treasurer, that is Kiran Hebbar. He also elected unopposed. We received only one nomination for Vice President role, that is Pradeep Pai. We received, so he also elected unopposed. So we received only one nomination for the role of Joint Secretary, that is Valli Srinivasan. She also elected unopposed. So the rest of the thing is actually there is 16 positions of Governing Council member and we have 17 nominations. So that warranted an election with the ballot. So before that election, I opened the election. If any candidate want to speak anything, that you can take the stage, you can speak.
ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಚಂದ್ರಶೇಖರ್ ಅಂತ. ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೋದು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ದ ಒನ್. ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಪ್ಲೇಯರ್ ಅಂತ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ರು, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಮೀ. ಓಕೆ, so you can see, all of them are on one side and I'm on the other side. It's just a joke. Okay, so in this room there's only one guy who's serious. I think he's missing now. There's only one guy with the tie. He's the only guy who's serious in this hall. You know why? Because I was also into the same problem this morning. ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ, ಅದು ಸಂಡೇ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಫಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬ್ಲೇಸರ್ ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಮೇಜರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು. ಟೈ ಹಾಕೊಂಡ್ರಂತೂ ಇನ್ನೂ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು. ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಮು? ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ರೆಡಿಯಾಗಿ ಶೂಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಳ್ಳೋ ಟೈಮು ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ಮಾತೇನು ಬರಲ್ಲ, ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಬರೋದು. ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಮೈ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ವಾಸ್, ಐ ಆಮ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೀಟ್ ಮೈ extended family. So BAF is our extended family. I'm sure all of you agree on this, right? So we are here to serve the community as good friends, family, and whatever you call it. We are all one family at the end of the day, whatever differences we have. But still, as a part of the family, I think it's our duty to come back with whatever suggestions or opinion or observations we come during our day-to-day tenure, whether we are a part of the governing council or not a part of the governing council, it's always better to just come and give our suggestions. So there were certain questions asked by my apartment community, because I'm not part of Apex at the moment, so I had to take their signatures and application as representation. So when I took that, and obviously I'm a part of this election process, so they asked me a question, certain question they have raised. So that's one of the reasons I just wanted to take the mic and talk about it for the betterment of a BAF, not because I wanted to speak. So first of all, I should congratulate the entire BAF team, not just this year team, even the past team, which has done a wonderful job bringing up the transparency and good governance. And everybody is looking up to this as far as BAF is concerned. But as an observation this year, I've observed, or maybe my team has observed, certain unethical practices or a cartel or declaration of EVO announcement, even before it has been announced. I think at the same time, I also have a suggestion that the lot of GC members, current year GC members, who are not continuing for the next year, I don't know the reason, because I always remained as an outside spectator. So at least the current team, and I would request Malya sir and the other complete GC team who's going to, get elected, to have a team which is coming next year, the people who are interested, groom them. Suddenly tomorrow, if you make me a president or secretary or treasurer, I may or may not know what to do it, how to do it. The continuity is definitely required, not just for BAF, for any entity. So I would request to keep these points and take it forward as a positive note, not as a complaint or anything. This is just a suggestion from my end. And congratulations to the Principal Governing Council. Thank you so much for this opportunity. And our election officer done a wonderful job. He's answered every query raised by me. I'm not raising all the query back here, but he has done a wonderful job. I think we should congratulate our election officer for doing a wonderful job. That's a thankless job, and I understand that because elsewhere I've done that job. Thank you so much.
So any other candidate want to speak, you can take the stage. Make it brief. Just make it brief, that's it.
No, please allow people to speak without these kind of... Maybe it might be 2 minutes, maybe 3 minutes. Thank you.
Yeah. Only thing is, make it brief so that in the interest of time, that's it. Parallelly, what can I do? I'll initiate the elections. Ballot they can cast. So parallelly, that's all right. Parallelly, while the candidates are speaking, you can also exercise your voting. Now the ballot box, Vishnu, ballot box will be kept in the first table. You can cast your vote, and while selecting, remember you have to select at least one candidate and maximum of 16 candidates. It is not mandatory that you select, you have to select 16. There is no mandatory. You can select as much as candidate that you wish to vote. It's an individual voting, right? It's not a panel-based voting, it's an individual voting. So, but ensure that at least one candidate you selected and maximum 16, okay? So, a ballot paper without any selection of candidate is invalid, and all candidate selection also invalid. Okay, keep that in mind. And also, preferably, you tick against each, in the last column, tick against the candidate of your choice, or any other, mark also is fine, but we prefer the tick to be seen, okay, as a mark of vote. So you can do that. Parallelly, the candidate will be speaking, and you can also, listen to them as well. Thank you.
1 second, I think someone wants to...
No traceability in the ballot paper, please. It's a secret vote. We have not kept anything to, trace the thing to the voters, so you also don't keep anything. Thank you.
This is Ramesh Padmanabhan who's speaking.
On behalf of everyone.
on behalf of everyone, please remember one thing. The battle is not between ourselves, but the battle is with the management and the governance of the city. There is a lot to be done, and it is not who has won, who has lost. The most important thing is we'll all collectively lose if we do not stand together and work on those issues which we have to work. Each of these issues, whether it's a water tariff or anything, requires a lot of effort to press the government to decide in our favor. Thank you. That's all. Look forward to hearing more from all of you.
So I repeat whatever election officer said for those who didn't listen. In the voter form, there are 17 names. You don't need to select all 16. As per rule, you have to select minimum one candidate, tick mark, to a maximum 16. So, which means that you can tick mark against only one person, tick mark against 2 persons or 3 persons, 5 persons, 7 persons, your choice. Minimum one tick mark, maximum 16. If there are no tick marks, invalid. If there are all 17, then invalid. I hope it's clear.
Vikram has been there since 2017. Vishnu's been there since 2020, right? Yeah. Sundar, 2 terms, and prior to that, continuously with the Jayanagar Council. We have a token of recognition, a memento that we would like to hand over to each of the outgoing GC members. Yeah, please, all of you, please assemble. Money plant to the treasurer, yeah. Outgoing. Sandhya and Srividya are still filling out some voting forms. Let's start with, yeah.
That was before he told me to take it.
Starting with Vikram. Very good. Vishnu. Sundar. Jameer. Vinay. Kalamarela. Okay. Sandhya and Srividya are there. No, outgoing. No. She is continuing. No? Srividya, Sandhya, Upender, please come.
I'm proud of all of you. Any help, I'll be more than happy to.
Subhash Panikar, are you there? Subhash? He's left. Subhash, are you there? Mohan is not here. Chandrasekhar? Chandrasekhar? Radhika? Vidya?
So hopefully we are closing the polling, I received that the ballot issue register. So one check is actually, the number of ballot receipts, the count in this ballot register should be equal to that, number of ballots in this box. So that's the first check. Second, I need help from one or two of candidates. Check if any duplicate member is recorded here in this ballot register. Only one member name only should be there in this list. Okay, so there should not be against one member.
थोड़ा सा स्पेस आउट प्लीज, थोड़ा सा स्पेस किरण हाथ नीचे करो इसको बढ़ दे
Guys, candidates, please. Candidates. So we have taken all ballots, empty ballots.
After counting, I am.
रिपॉजिटरी
वो आदमी से गुजर गया तो फिर वो डिस्काउंट No, that is not valid, no? Sir, somebody also see valid.
You voted only for yourself.
I have no vote. One vote is there. No. I think it's three, four. Sujata madam also one vote. For me also somebody else. You take majority. Yeah, what happened? How many cells?
This is Pawan. He look for Pawan. He voted for himself. Pawan Bharadwaj.
Satish Kumar 74. 74 and Vishwa Venkat Reddy 73. Sujata 83, Ajay Mehrotra 78, Kishore 71, Avinash 72, Uttu Kumar 73.
Thanks, Hari.
So, we have total ballot issued 109, total votes polled, actually polled is 101. Out of that, 2 were invalid votes. And out of the valid votes, N. Siddhartha Shetty got 81 votes. Mahadev Murthy H.M. got 77 votes. Ramesh Padmanabhan got 89 votes. Pawan Bharadwaj 84 votes. LVA Prasad 76. Sujata 83. Ajay Maratha 78. Kishore Mutuguri 71. Avinash HT 72, Muthukumar Ramamurthy 73, Satish Kumar T 74, Vishwamendra Reddy 73, Partha Mundu 76, S. Lakshman 79, Rajesh Ramamurthy 79, Hemant Pai 73, and Chandrasekhar HM 37. So, out of the 17 candidates, there are 16 people elected. So, except Chandrasekhar HM, all are elected to Governing Council of BAF. Congratulations.
I think we should recognize the tireless efforts put by our staff, KCB and Ashwini as well. Ashwini, come. It's okay. Don't be shy. Right?
Good job, KC, all the way next, or both of you. Yeah. You can sing and finish.
Cha cha.
Mike, hi. Hello. Thanks to all to attend this function, and it was very nice. I'm Veera Raghavan starting from this is my 10th AGM attending here. I know that you people are known to me. Just for all the gestures, I sing a song of bhajans. Okay. Atma Rama Ananda Ramana, Atma Rama Ananda Ramana, Achyuta Kesava Hari Narayana, Achyuta Kesava Hari Narayana, Atma Rama Ananda Ramana, Bhava Bhaya रघुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन रघुकुलभूषण राजीवलोचन आदिनारायण आनन्दशयन सच्चिदानन्द सत्यनारायण सच्चिदानन्द सत्यनारायण आत्मा रामा आनन्दरमण